Chapter 2161. Only when the cauldron was fully repaired would Chen Shang and Xiao Yulan know the secret behind it. Princess Yulan, the war is about to start. When that happens, will Shenxian and the rest be able to recover? There's not much time left. With how powerful that cauldron is, it won't be easy to fix it. Chen Shang asked. This was also something he was more concerned about. You don't have to worry about that. I've already made my plans. If I can't fix it, I'll have other plans when the time comes. Xiao Yulan never thought that the situation would change so quickly. If not for the news of the divine nations' treasures suddenly appearing, those great national master would not have come in and caused such a ruckus. Chen Shang also hoped that Xiao Yulan could become the divine lord of divine lord. At that time, when the Nine Heaven World annexed the super god realm, he would be able to avoid being surrounded and attacked by other forces. Xiao Yulan knew what Chen Shang was worried about, so she had to guarantee the safety of the others. Whether or not she could turn the tables around, would depend on whether or not the cauldron could be repaired. Chen Shang left Xiao Yulan's residence. When he returned, the courtyard house was extremely quiet. Xiao Baifeng was currently cultivating the second bones while Yue was at the side guiding her. He took out a portion of the 9 yin and yang dan's divine medicine and thought about it, then shook his head. He was worried that if he refined this 9 yin and yang dan, he would fall into a state of obsession very soon. Chen Shang sat alone in the hall. He didn't know what he was doing now. The bone-level dan's medicinal ingredients were all finished concocting, and he didn't have any with him, so he could only wait for Xiao Baifeng to come out. During the night, Chen Shang suddenly smelled a fragrant wind. It was Imperial concubine Lian. In the middle of the night, Chen Shang couldn't help but think that the charming spirit demon had suddenly come to him. This is the divine medicine that you asked me to buy today. I've got it. Imperial concubine Lian handed over a large jade box to Chen Shang. Chen Shang took a look and confirmed that all of the divine medicines that the heaven god Fire Dan required were correct. He nodded his head in satisfaction. 10 billion Shenyuan stone. Imperial concubine Lian reached out her jade hand, asking for it from Chen Shang. I don't have it right now. I'll give it to you in a few days and help me purchase these divine medicines. Chen Shang put away the jade box and laughed. You little devil, I'm really worried that you will screw over my Shenyuan stone. Their Shenyuan stone have all been accumulated over the years, don't lie to me. Imperial concubine Lian did not expect Chen Shang to continue delaying. If she did not know that Chen Shang could refine bone-level Dan, she would have used her strength to force Chen Shang to give her the divine medicine. What are you afraid of? My luck is still pretty good. I just don't have it right now. I'll just wait for elder sister Baifeng to come out of closed-door cultivation. You just have to wait for a few more days, then I'll give you some interest. Chen Shang changed the topic and asked, have you helped Jin'er cultivate his bones yet? It requires a person to guide her by the side. Seeing how weak she is, will she be able to endure that kind of pain? Quote. Imperial concubine Lian smiled. Don't underestimate my Jin'er. Even though she doesn't seem to know anything, she is someone that I, as an undead heaven spirit, have spent 100 years nurturing, and she is definitely not weak. She is an indestructible god of war. She will not suffer when she condenses bones. Chen Zhang's brows twitched. It's really not fair. My bones is so painful that I want to die. She actually doesn't have any pain. Isn't it? This was the power of the undying battle god. In addition, there was an even more powerful force. However, she still needs the help of the bone-level Dan in order to condense her bones. Imperial concubine Lian felt that her idea of letting Xiao Jin'er follow Chen Shang was even more correct. Previously, she didn't know that Chen Shang knew how to refine bone-level Dan, but now that she knew, she was even more happy. Can you spare those 10 billion Shenyuan stone? Chen Shang laughed. Next, help me buy a few more of those divine medicines, and you don't need my Shenyuan stone s either. I will buy all of your daughter's bone-level Dan s. Dozens of billions of Shenyuan stone. I also want to keep some people to buy things for me. If I really have a lot, then I don't really care, but I'm not as rich as you think. Imperial concubine Lian stuck out his tongue. Anyway, you're so good at refining 5 elements Dan, so it won't be long before you earn it back. Alright, I'm going to start concocting pills. Chen Shang received a portion of the heaven god Fire Dan's divine medicine and impatiently wanted to refine it. Imperial concubine Lian smiled coquettishly as she said a few words to him, then hurriedly left Xiao Baifeng's house. Chen Shang came to the underground secret room and took out the pill furnace Shui Shenxian and the others gave him. Right now, he was refining the more precious Heaven God Fire Dan among the Shengpin Dan, so he had to be more serious. Is this thing really helpful in condensing divine deity? Even these divine medicines were ridiculously expensive. If they were sold, wouldn't that amount to tens of billions? Chen Shang looked at the red flowers, fruits, leaves and grass in the jade box. These were all flowers and leaves formed by the divine fire spirit tree, and the grass grew under it. It's definitely not wild. Chen Shang took a look. Although the quality was good, it lacked a bit of natural spiritual energy, and said, if you want to use a live slain method to copy, it seems to require a large amount of purple pearls. Even though he had failed 10 times with that 9 yin and yang dan before, it gave him a lot of experience. Adding to the fact that he had successfully refined the spirit soul 5 elements dan, his control over it had improved a lot. A pot is ready. Chen Shang placed all the divine medicines into the pill furnace, released the flames and started to refine them. The Heaven God Fire Dan's 4 divine medicines all came from the divine fire spirit tree, so they could resist strong burning flames. If it was someone else's flame, it would be very difficult to quickly refine it. But Chen Zhang's flames were different. His Chuangzhao fire had a strong solubility, so even if it was a divine medicine that was very resistant to heat, it would be quickly broken under his full strength of flames. He had refined a mutated Tianwo Dan before, and it was a smart one at that, so the pressure on him wasn't too great when he refined this kind of Shengpin Dan. It's harder to refine than normal Tianwo Dan, but it's about the same as a spiritual light Tianwo Dan. Chen Shang was immediately full of confidence in himself. He used the spirit strengthening technique and the original source refining to refine it according to the method he used to refine the Tianwo Dan. It would be difficult to refine a Heaven God Fire Dan with spiritual light, but I have to try. Chen Shang used half a day's worth of time to smoothly progress to the later stages. Now, he had successfully refined the divine medicine and fused it together. After the Shengpin Dan refines and fuses with it, it will turn into a medicinal liquid, and it won't be the same as the previous medicine aura. Chen Shang used his Dao Heart Eye to gaze at the large mass of fiery-like liquid. With a thought, he cut it into 4 parts. If he started to concoct pills, he would be able to concoct 4 Heaven God Fire Dan very quickly. However, he was not satisfied with it. Chapter 2162. Chen Shang did not immediately start to concoct the divine spiritual pill, but chose to rest for an hour instead. After resting, he checked the pill furnace to ensure that it had sufficient resistance to prevent it from exploding. It's about time. Chen Shang took a deep breath, and controlled the 4 clumps of fiery red medicinal liquid inside the pill furnace to move further and further away. After reaching a certain distance, he suddenly activated his strong mental power, and controlled the 4 clumps of medicinal liquid to attack each other as fast as lightning. Boom! At the moment of impact, an extremely terrifying vibration was released from the pill furnace, causing it to violently tremble. Xiao Baifeng's house also started to shake. Almost finished. Chen Shang looked at the clump of medicinal liquid inside the pill furnace that was emitting a reddish gold glow and let out a light sigh. This won't be considered as a complete success. The reason why there was such a huge explosion just now was because he wasn't able to control himself during the impact, causing a large amount of medicinal liquid to turn into energy and radiate outwards. Hence, the amount of medicinal liquid in the pill furnace was very small, only enough for him to form 2 divine pills. He had underestimated the explosive force of the impact, causing him to lose a lot of medicinal strength. Otherwise, the amount of medicinal liquid inside the pill furnace would have been even greater. This Heaven God Fire Dan is so much stronger than the Tianwo Dan. Chen Shang sighed. He had almost lost control earlier, and the pill furnace would have exploded because of that. The quality of this pill furnace was not bad. It was considered a pretty good divine tool. However, after the explosion just now, it was slightly damaged. The process of condensing a pill was extremely difficult, much more difficult than Chen Shang had imagined. It's hard to stick together. Chen Shang tried hard for a few hours, but he was still only able to compress the 2 lumps of medicinal liquid slightly. Infinite refining, fuse them for me. Chen Shang used the heavenly alchemy technique with all his might and only saw the 2 clumps of medicinal liquid slowly spin and shrink. And by the time he refined the medicinal liquid into pills, an entire day had already passed. He took 2 days to refine this batch of Heaven God Fire Dan. When he walked out of the underground secret room, Xiao Baifeng and Yue were both in the hall. Have you condensed the second bones yet? Chen Shang asked. At the moment he looked very haggard. The Heaven God Fire Dan he refined made him very tired. I succeeded. What about you? What kind of incredible pill do you want to forge? Xiao Baifeng smiled and nodded. Both she and Yue could feel the fluctuations earlier. Heaven God Fire Dan, of course it's a success. I'll go and rest first, it's just too tiring. After Chen Shang said this, he did not wash his body, but went straight back to his room and lied down, falling into a deep sleep. Just as he fell asleep, Imperial concubine Lian, who was dressed simply came over. She had already come over once yesterday, but she did not see anyone here. Where's the kid? When Imperial concubine Lian entered, he did not see Chen Shang. He just finished refining the pill and went to sleep. What can I do for him? Xiao Baifeng looked at the room that was still open. He's already asleep. He asked me to buy a set of ingredients for the divine pill and I already bought one for him 2 days ago. The Imperial concubine Lian gave Xiao Baifeng a jade box. Tell him that he owes me another 10 billion Shenyuan stone. With that, the Imperial concubine Lian left in a hurry. This is the Heaven God Fire Dan's divine medicine. Imperial concubine Lian is really powerful, he could actually buy 2 of these so quickly. Just a moment ago, she was wondering how Chen Shang had gotten the Heaven God Fire Dan's divine medicine, but now, she understood. Yue laughed. Elder sister Baifeng, you should go and get some 5 elements Dan's divine medicine for him now. He owes Imperial concubine Lian 20 billion Shenyuan stone. Right now, it was best to buy the 5 elements Dan's divine medicine. Moreover, it was relatively cheaper. Even if he refined a batch of 5 elements Dan, he would only be able to sell it for 30 million. If he wanted to gather 20 million, he would need to refine a lot of batches of Shenyuan stone, and it would take quite a bit of time. Xiao Baifeng said, looks like he can only refine bone level Dan S to sell. Intermediate rank bone level Dan can sell for 7 or 8 billion, how many can he refine in one furnace? Xiao Baifeng touched Yue. 6 pills. Yue said, last time, Chen Shang had only been able to refine 4 Zongpin bone level Dan, but that was the first time he had done so. This startled Xiao Baifeng. Intermediate quality bone level Dan S could not get much per set, but it could be sold for that much. Xiao Baifeng said, looks like I can get Imperial concubine Lian to help me sell them. If I have 6 of them, I can sell them for at least 400 billion. Only Imperial concubine Lian can sell them for this kind of method, so I might be able to sell them even more. She knew that Chen Shang was in a hurry, so she decided to let Chen Shang refine Zongpin Dan S to sell, thus she immediately bought the bone level Dan's divine medicine. Chen Shang still had the Zongpin bone level Dan's divine medicine in his hands, but she thought Chen Shang had used it all up. When Chen Shang woke up, it was already noon of the second day. She was given to you by the Imperial concubine Lian. She said that you owe her another 10 billion Shenyuan stone. Xiao Baifeng gave a jade box to Chen Shang. After Chen Shang accepted it, he looked inside and saw the Heaven God Fire Dan's divine medicine. He nodded. How? Chen Shang frowned. Sell the Zongpin bone level Dan, give it to Imperial concubine Lian to sell. Xiao Baifeng said, you better go and find her now. She used 20 billion Shenyuan stone S, and probably won't have much left. Chen Shang still had 3 bone level Dan S in his hands. Last time, he had tried to refine 4 pills in a furnace and ate one for himself, but because his physical body could not keep up with the pills, he was unable to condense a bone level Dan. I'll go find her now, Chen Shang said as he took the storage bag that Xiao Baifeng handed over. There were 10 batches of Zongpin bone level Dan's medicinal ingredients inside. Xiao Baifeng drove Chen Shang to Imperial concubine Lian's residence. When the Imperial concubine Lian saw Chen Shang arriving, he asked while grinning, did you come to return the Shenyuan stone? No, Chen Shang laughed. I haven't seen Imperial concubine Lian for 2 days, my heart was filled with longing, so I came to take a look, is that not okay? Brat, I only have about 10 billion Shenyuan stone left. Hurry and return my Shenyuan stone. Imperial concubine Lian pouted. Xiao Baifeng never thought that Chen Zhang's relationship with the Imperial concubine Lian would actually be so close, to actually dare to use words to tease the latter. Chen Shang walked into the Imperial concubine Lian's room while grinning. Originally, Xiao Baifeng wanted to stop her without her permission, but Chen Shang pulled her and stepped into the room. Imperial concubine Lian also knew that Chen Shang had some secret things that he needed to discuss with her. If you have something to say, just say it, I'll find Yulan and borrow the Shenyuan stone to buy the divine medicine for you. Imperial concubine Lian was currently trying his best to please Chen Shang, the alchemist who knew how to refine bone level Dan. There's no need to borrow from her. Chen Shang sat on her soft bed and tried to bounce off her, causing Imperial concubine Lian to snort. Chapter 2163. There are 3 Zongpin bone level Dan S. Chen Shang took out a jade box and casually threw it towards Imperial concubine Lian. What? When the Imperial concubine Lian heard that it was a Zongpin bone level Dan, she immediately took it in carefully as if it was a treasure. She opened it to take a look, and sure enough, there were 3 high-quality Zongpin bone level Dan S. It's not like it's difficult. How much can you sell it for? Chen Shang laughed. Do you have enough to return your 20 billion? Enough is enough, there's still more. Imperial concubine Lian hurriedly said. Are you really willing to sell this kind of thing? Chen Shang would never tell her that he could still refine many more Zongpin bone level Dan. Of course I can. I can't bear the beautiful Imperial concubine Lian borrowing Shen Yuan stone everywhere. Chen Shang laughed. Alright, just sell it. Give the extra to elder sister Bai Feng, I'm going back to cultivate. Just as Chen Shang walked to the door, Imperial concubine Lian grabbed onto his hand. Chen Shang could feel her soft and warm hands and couldn't help but pinch. Do you have a lot of these Zongpin bone level Dan? I'm not willing to sell it. Imperial concubine Lian asked. Not much, but it's not that hard to get. Sell it quickly. Chen Shang urgently needed the Heaven God Fire Dan. Xiao Baifeng said. Imperial concubine Lian, you don't have to worry, Zongpin bone level Dan are easier to obtain for him. Imperial concubine Lian nodded his head. You guys can go back first, I will settle this quickly. Chen Shang and Xiao Baifeng went back, while Imperial concubine Lian went to look for Xiao Yulan immediately. Xiao Yulan looked at the 3 Zongpin bone level Dan S inside the jade box and gently frowned. This Chen Shang is really much more terrifying than I thought he was. He actually took out 3 Zongpin bone level Dan S to sell. Luckily he did not let Bai Feng handle the matter, and he definitely does not know what kind of sensation these 3 Zongpin bone level Dan S would create if they were to sell. So that's why I came to find you. How many Shen Yuan stone do you plan to accept? What he needs now are divine medicines. I have already helped him buy 2 Shengpin medicine S, and one of them is worth more than 10 billion. Who knows what kind of divine pellets he is playing with. Imperial concubine Lian leaned against a chair, her hands supporting her cheeks. He already gave me a few shopping bone level Dan S earlier. Judging from his appearance, these bone level Dan S are like beans in his eyes. Maybe he even gave a few to Bai Feng girl. 10 billion pills, I'll buy it. Xiao Yulan laughed lightly. You need 1,200,000 Shen Yuan stone to sell to the great national master. No wonder you are so willing to give Jenner to him, this brat is truly amazing. Quote. HMPH, there are a lot of women by his side, Shui Shenxian and the rest definitely are. And this guy is even interested in us, mother and daughter. You should be careful of Yu Lan. After saying that, Imperial concubine Lian began to giggle. This brat is not someone who is easy to deal with. Your little girl White Phoenix is now his. Chen Shang returned to the secret room and immediately refined a batch of Zongpin bone level Dan. He only managed to refine 5 pills, but the refining speed had increased by a lot. Heaven God Fire Dan, I hope it will be of great help to me. Chen Shang looked at the fiery red pill in his hand. This Heaven God Fire Dan was extremely beautiful, like a red gem, with many faint white glowing patterns on the surface. After eating this Heaven God Fire Dan, the medicinal power quickly erupted, and a wave of warmth immediately caused Chen Zhang's body to feel as if it was being burned by fire, but he did not feel hot at all. This Heaven God Fire Dan was here to help condense divine deity, so after he consumed it, he channeled his heavenly alchemy and refined the medicinal power. At the same time he refined the medicinal power, the yang energy in the surroundings immediately entered his body. In just an hour, all of the yang energy in Jade Cauldron Palace was gushed towards Chen Shang. Even the powerful light released by the blazing sun in the sky was unavoidable, all of the yang energy being absorbed by Chen Shang. When the Imperial concubine Lian and Xiao Yulan were discussing and felt the power of the supreme yang rush towards one direction, they both had the same thought. So that's how it is. The divine medicine this kid asked me to buy earlier, was actually used to refine Heaven God Fire Dan. Weird, why would Prince Ping give this pill formula to him? Imperial concubine Lian said. Could it be that the bone level Dan's pill formula was given by Prince Ping as well? Xiao Yulan frowned. It's possible, Chen Shang has heavenly alchemy, maybe he used it to exchange for the bone level Dan's pill formulas. After saying that, Xiao Yulan denied his own words. That's not right, because the White Phoenix has been helping Chen Shang buy the divine medicine for a long time now, and the divine medicine must have contained bone-level Dan-S. Although she did it in secret, it can't be hidden from me. He should have obtained the bone-level Dan's pill formula very early on. Quote, the Heaven God Fire Dan is a very strong Shengpin Dan, he hasn't even reached the Supreme God realm yet, is he really able to handle it? Imperial concubine Lian looked in Chen Zhang's direction. Forget it, let's ignore him and continue. Xiao Baifeng and Yue were right above the secret room, so they felt it the most obvious. However, Chen Shang didn't feel anything, he only felt that he was soaking in very comfortable hot water, and that he was sleeping comfortably. That comfortable hot water continued to rain down on his body, and as he circulated his energy, it burrowed into the inside of his body, causing him to feel very comfortable. This was only his current feeling, and at this moment, he was wrapped up by a ball of white Supreme Yang energy, and this ball of Supreme Yang energy crazily drilled into his body and entered his divine sense C. He has condensed his divine deity. Chen Shang looked at the divine deity which divine sense C had just condensed and was extremely excited. This divine deity is as formidable as the one before. This was also the flame divine deity, all that was left was the divine soul. How long has it been used for? Chen Shang had never been able to condense divine deity so comfortably before, so he ate another Heaven God Fire Dan. This time, what he condensed was the divine soul within his divine deity, and he needed a Heaven God Fire Dan in order to do so. 2 Heaven God Fire Dan-S allowed him to condense one divine deity and one divine soul. When he walked out of the secret room, only Yue was there. There are only 2 days before the start of the competition. I thought that you wouldn't be able to come out. Yue laughed. How are the Heaven God Fire Dan's effects? Very good, I already have 7 divine deity now. Relying on this Heaven God Fire Dan, I can quickly become a supreme god. Chen Shang grabbed Yue and placed her on his palm to tease her. He liked to pinch Yue's soft and fluffy stomach the most, and Yue didn't like him to do that the most. Where's the elder sister Baifeng? Chen Shang asked. I went to buy the bone-level Dan's medicinal ingredients for you. She had been busy with this for the past few days because she knew that it wouldn't be that easy to obtain the divine medicine after you went back. Yue said. Right now, the situation is very tense. When Imperial concubine Lian came over earlier, she had already made elder sister Baifeng ready to fight at any time, and she is also very anxious for her daughter. She couldn't wait for you to bring Jin'er to 9 Heaven World for shelter right now. Chapter 2164. As the war neared, but the situation was not settled, Chen Shang was also very worried, because they did not know if they could successfully repair that cauldron. If they did not, how would Xiao Yulan be able to handle this matter? He had to bring Shui Shenxian and the others back before the great battle. Chen Shang didn't plan to do anything else at this moment either. He needed to rest well for the next 2 days so that he could have a good time to compete with Xiao Ping. Xiao Baifeng returned after busying an entire day, and only saw him when the sky was almost dark. 50 batches of Zongpin bone-level Dan's medicine, and 10 of high quality. The Heaven God Fire Dan's medicine are all at Imperial concubine Lian's place. Xiao Baifeng knew that Chen Shang would leave after the competition, so she wanted to do something for him. Thank you. Chen Shang looked at the ingredients and smiled at Xiao Baifeng. I can cultivate 2 bones now, which can help me break through my future bottlenecks, not to mention, this is using your Shen Yuan stone. Imperial concubine Lian sold the 3 bone-level Dan-S that you gave her for 30 billion. Xiao Baifeng laughed. Although I haven't been with you for a long time, I'm actually very happy. Elder sister Baifeng, come with me when the time comes. Chen Shang said. If you can't help Princess Yulan here, you might as well come back with me. Xiao Baifeng had the same thought as well, but in the end, she still decided to stay. She shook her head and said, the princess has treated me with such kindness, and I want to be with her. Sighed. At this time, Imperial concubine Lian walked in, and at this moment, she could enter and exit Xiao Baifeng's house at will. Her relationship with Xiao Baifeng had also become very good. When Imperial concubine Lian arrived, she was still bringing along the shy and innocent Xiao Jin'er. Seeing Chen Shang looking at her with a smile on his face, she immediately blushed, as if her face was about to bleed. Brat, shut your eyes. Although the Imperial concubine Lian scolded you, her charming face was also full of smiles. I shall leave Jin'er with you. You two should get familiar with her properly during these 2 days, so that she won't be afraid of you when the time comes. 6 sets of Heaven God Fire Dan's divine medicine. Imperial concubine Lian threw a storage bag to Chen Shang. She already knew that the herbs Chen Shang bought were Heaven God Fire Dan's. Chen Shang took it and looked it over, then asked, "How do you know I refined Heaven God Fire Dan? You've been through the winter these days, it's hard for you not to know." Imperial concubine Lian reached out her jade hand and laughed. "This is worth 60 billion, and it was even Yulan who came out of the Shen Yuan stone to help you buy it, but I did not give it to you for nothing. Take it, there's only this much for now." Chen Shang had long since refined a batch of Zongpin bone level Dan's, even though he only produced 5. "Do you want to come with me to meet Yulan?" Imperial concubine Lian looked at the 5 Zongpin bone level Dan. She was now certain that this bone level Dan was not important in Chen Zhang's eyes at all, and she was also very curious about how many bones Chen Shang had cultivated. "I was just about to go look for her." Chen Shang nodded. Inside the secret room in Xiao Yulan's residence, the imperial concubine Lian had finished pouring tea for Chen Shang and the others before exiting the secret room. Chen Shang drank a mouthful of tea and then asked, "Princess Yulan, when will Shenxian and the others be able to follow me?" Xiao Yulan looked very sad at the moment. She didn't have the usual gentle and approachable smile. She faintly sighed. "You can bring them along after the competition." "Has the cauldron been repaired yet?" Chen Shang asked again. He did not want Xiao Yulan to lose in the battle either. Xiao Yulan shook his head. "The materials required already exceeded my expectations, although he gathered all of the required materials a few days ago, but then something happened again. Although Heavenly Divine Lord produced the repair blueprints, he did not try it himself. When Shenxian and the others started to fix it, they encountered many troublesome problems. Although they had the ability to solve them, it was too late." Quote, "What a pity." Chen Shang also sighed. "Chen Shang, I've been thinking about something important these past few days." Xiao Yulan suddenly looked at Chen Shang very seriously, his expression extremely solemn. "Can I trust you or not? That's up to you. However, I can tell you with certainty that you can completely trust me." Chen Shang said very seriously. "I plan to have Shenxian and the others take that cauldron back to the 9 Heaven world to fix it." Xiao Yulan looked into Chen Zhang's eyes, and at the same time, she gave Chen Shang a huge pressure. "This is the most important thing to my royal father. The reason why my royal father can become a divine lord is because of this cauldron." "I know." Chen Shang was extremely shocked in his heart. Xiao Yulan actually made such a huge decision. "I don't want this cauldron to fall into the hands of others, so you have to help me take care of it. If I die, you must use this cauldron to help me take revenge. If I am still alive, then when you see me again in the future, you must return it to me." Xiao Yulan said, "I am not really familiar with you, but after these few days of being together with Shenxian and the others, my intuition tells me that I can trust you." Chen Shang nodded. "Don't worry, I promise. In the future, I will also need a strong divine nations as a backing. I hope that you can win this battle." Quote, Chen Shang did not know much about the powers in the Imperial 9 Palace, but seeing that Xiao Yulan did not have much confidence right now, he knew how powerful Xiao Yulan's enemies were. "I'll bring you to see Shenxian and the others." They were previously busy, but during this month, they did not rest once, so seeing them so tired made my heart ache. I also advised them to rest once, but they knew that this cauldron is very important to me, so they helped me fix it day and night. Xiao Yulan brought Chen Shang into another secret room, where there was a transmission array. "I really let them down by abducting them like that. But they still help me." Xiao Yulan said guiltily. "It's also because of them that I decided to let them bring this cauldron back to repair it." Chen Shang laughed. "Since you can make them help you day and night, it looks like they have a lot of trust in you." Xiao Yulan opened her transmission array and brought Chen Shang to another stone room. She smiled lightly. "You're pretty amazing too, to be able to make them become loyal to you." Chen Shang laughed proudly. "The women by my side are not only powerful, there are also many that are very scary." After walking out of the stone room, Chen Shang arrived at a very spacious hall. It was extremely hot here, and there were a few extremely large stoves burning in flames, and in the middle of these stoves, there was a 3-legged round cauldron that was as big as a small mountain. Shui Shenxian and the rest were looking at the blueprints below the stoves, but they did not realize that Chen Shang and Xiao Yulan had arrived. Chapter 2165. Chen Shang looked at the cauldron carefully. The color was green, and it looked like a bronze cauldron, but no damage could be seen. Other than the size of the cauldron, there was nothing else that made people think that this cauldron was powerful. Where is it broken? Chen Shang walked over and asked. When Shui Shenxian and the others heard Chen Zhang's voice, they immediately looked over. Brother, why are you here? Dongfang Jing hurriedly asked, smiling sweetly at Chen Shang. A big part of it was originally broken on the outside, but now we have repaired it. But the worst of it is the inside. Lu Meng'er sighed. Although it can be repaired, it will take a long time. Chen Shang came to the bottom of the cauldron, and touched the pillar-sized cauldron foot, and immediately frowned. What a familiar energy. What is this energy? Xiao Yulan was shocked, and immediately asked. I still can't figure out what kind of energy this is. Shui Shenxian said. This type of energy is extremely strange, as if it was formed by containing all the elemental energy in the world. Dongfang Xinyue nodded his head. I tried to absorb a little bit. There are all kinds of attributed energy, but this requires a body to have the ability to control all sorts of attributed energy. If one knows how to use the power of space, they can also transform this energy into a very strong power of space. This is the Six Realms power. Chen Shang frowned. This cauldron is the same as the Six Realms mirrors, it can produce an extremely terrifying Six Realms power. If my guess is not wrong, this cauldron should be called the Six Realms Ding. As he said that, he took out the Six Realms mirrors and released a very strong Six Realms power. Sensing this kind of energy, Shui Shenxian, Xiao Yulan and the rest of the girls were immediately shocked. The Six Divine Lord's Six Realms mirrors have been completely repaired. Xiao Yulan was shocked. I heard that you have it, but the news is that the Six Realms mirrors is severely damaged, and it does not have any power in your hands. Chen Shang kept the Six Realms mirrors well and sneered. That's because you've been tricked, and because someone wanted to take the Six Realms mirrors for himself. This news spread, and the Six Realms mirrors is almost completely healed. Furthermore, I don't usually use it much. Six Realms mirrors have the power to repair itself. This is because they have absorbed a large amount of the six paths of energy. If this is really a Six Realms Ding, then we can perhaps use the Six Realms mirrors to repair themselves. Lu Meng'er replied. It's just that we don't have much time left. Forget it. I've already made the worst-case scenario. No matter what, I can't let you get involved in this battle. Xiao Yulan sighed, then said to Lu Meng'er and the others, you can go back now. Do you want me to send you off, or follow Chen Shang? Follow him, Lu Meng'er said. Xiao Yulan had actually already merged with the Six Realms Ding. She could control the cauldron to become smaller and larger, like a palm. She passed it to Lu Meng'er. Xiao Yulan hadn't told Lu Meng'er and the others about this matter before, so they were extremely shocked now. I have already spoken to Chen Shang. If I die, he will use this cauldron to help me take revenge, and if I am still alive, he will hand it over to me. Xiao Yulan said in a serious tone. Sister Yulan, don't worry. We will definitely fix it and let this little scoundrel bring it back to you. Shui Shenxian said. Yulan, you're so strong, you definitely won't die. Don't say that. Lu Meng'er held Xiao Yulan's hand, encouraging her. Xiao Yulan laughed. Looks like I really am not fit to be a divine lord. Even at this time, I'm still hanging my head in dejection. She looked at Chen Shang. This was what Chen Shang had said to her before. Indeed, if it's Sister Kilian and Sister Wei Shan, their performances would be completely different from yours. Chen Shang shrugged his shoulders, looked at Lu Meng'er, and smiled. Elder Sister Meng'er was also a female emperor in Immortal country in the past. Look at her, she's just different from you. Towards this kind of fight between divine kings, small fries like Chen Shang and the rest would not even have any use, so they did not say anything polite like helping out. Lu Meng'er and the others entered Chen Zhang's ring. After entering, Dongfang Xinyue clamored about wanting to refine this ring from a new beginning. They were all so strong now, and this ring was something that was a long time ago. Princess Yulan, I want to take elder sister Bai Feng away. I don't think there's much point in her staying here, but this woman is very stubborn and will follow you no matter what. Chen Shang caressed the ring. My nine-heaven world also needs a female ranker, and the time there is different. When you meet her next time, maybe she will already have caught up to you guys. I will order her to go with you. Xiao Yulan also felt that being the best for Xiao Baifeng. Even though Xiao Baifeng was a 30 divine deity great saint, if a great battle were to break out at that time, she would very likely be killed. Chen Shang and imperial concubine Lian returned to Xiao Baifeng's house with Xiao Yulan's command. When Xiao Baifeng saw this command, she scolded Chen Shang a little. Baifeng, you go back with him. Help me take care of Janur. If we really lose, then only you can help us take revenge. Imperial concubine Lian touched Xiao Baifeng's face. I'm with Yulan, you don't have to be too worried. I got it. Xiao Baifeng clenched his fists tightly. In order to make it easier to leave, Chen Shang allowed Xiao Janur to enter the ring. This way, it could make Xiao Janur less afraid of living, and Shui Shenxian and the others treated people extremely well. This morning, Huang Jintian, Huang Yantian and the others had all come. They were worried that something would happen to Chen Shang, so they decided to end the competition to protect Chen Shang. Chen Shang, Huang Jintian and the rest got on Xiao Baifeng's carriage and entered the huge square. The first thing they did was to refine pills, and the next thing to do was to compete with array formations and artifact forging, and finally, it was to compete with each other. Before, he had promised Chen Shang that as long as Chen Shang was willing to compete with him to the end, he would let his master, great national master, keep him safe. Previously, there were many first-tier divine kings who had withdrawn from the struggle for the throne. However, after knowing that there were treasures of the divine nations, they all joined in, and there were even some who had joined together in secret. This was because there were many treasures of the divine nations as treasures, and at that time, it would already be good if they could obtain a small part of them. There were many people, around 100,000 of them, but Chen Shang was unable to find the location of those first-tier divine kings, nor was he able to sense their auras. And the people he saw now were just a few small fries, as well as alchemists participating in the competition. Chapter 2166. Chen Shang took out a jade tablet and Xiaoping then entered the center of the competition grounds. This competition grounds was very high, allowing many people to see the people on it. There were only 100 or so alchemists that could make it to this stage. Prince Ping, where is your master? Chen Shang stood beside Xiaoping. He'll be here in a moment. Xiaoping chuckled, my master rarely shows his face, but today. Xiaoping had just finished speaking when a white-haired, ruddy-faced old man appeared on the stage. He looked like an expert. The other alchemist on the stage immediately revealed looks of reverence. Chen Shang was now certain that this old man was the legendary #1 pill god in the divine cauldron nation, Shang Hongdao. He kindly glanced at Xiaoping, then seriously sized up Chen Shang. How could he not know about the match between Chen Shang and Xiaoping? On one hand, it was to watch Chen Shang use the heavenly alchemy to refine pills, and on the other hand, it was to protect Chen Shang from being ambushed. In these two rounds, the first round is to refine a godly pill that everyone is very familiar with. The first is a Tianwo Dan, the second is a high-rank 5 elements Dan. I will provide the ingredients. Shang Hongdao held his hands behind his back in front of the crowd of pill gods. As he walked back and forth, he explained the rules. As everyone knows, today's competition is to reveal the potential to become a great national master, and for me to set the rules, even though it is harsh, if I can pass, I will have to personally nurture it. As long as it meets my requirements, I'll take as much as I can. Shang Hongdao saw the doubtful look on everyone's faces and asked. Because Xiaoping's level was very high, if Shang Hongdao only used Xiaoping's standard to specify the rules, then most of them would not have a chance. Don't doubt who I favor. If you do not meet my requirements, it will prove that you are qualified to be my disciple. Even Xiaoping is the same. If he doesn't reach the standards that I set today, then I will also expel him from my sect. Shang Hongdao's words caused a stir in the plaza. Perhaps only he could say such words to drive Xiaoping away. After all, he was Divine Cauldron Nation's #1 pill god. First is the Tianwo Dan. Its overall quality must reach 600. Shang Hongdao took out a round disc. He had tested Xiaoping's quality before with this divine artifact. If the total quality was to reach 700, wouldn't it mean that one would need to refine 6 pellets in a batch, and then refine 100 pellets each? This was simply too difficult. Before Xiaoping refined the 5 elements Dan, he could only keep each pellet at 90, and the quantity was less than these 6 pellets. Hearing this request, only a few pill gods knew that this was something that could only be achieved by concocting a high-quality spiritual light pill. This was truly difficult. However, thinking that this would be the standard of the future great national master, it was understandable even if it was difficult. After you guys pass this test, I'll then talk about the standard of high-rank 5 elements Dan. You guys can start collecting the divine medicines and use your own pill furnaces, but you must inspect them for me. Shang Hongdao said. 5 hours of time. 5 hours. These 10-odd people immediately stood out. They simply could not do it. Even if it was ordinary refining, it would take them more than 5 hours. Xiaoping looked at Chen Shang and smiled, "Are you feeling pressured?" Chen Shang laughed faintly. "Not at all, I feel that you will lose to me in this trial, and to a worse extent. Of course, you don't have to be expelled from the sect." Quote. "You're really arrogant," Xiaoping chuckled. "I don't want to be arrogant with ordinary people. But you are different, you are a noble prince, are also a disciple of the great national master, and furthermore, you have the strength of a third-rank divine king. I must suppress you in terms of alchemy, this way I will feel a great sense of accomplishment." Honestly speaking, whether it was Xiaoping's position or strength, he was much higher than. If Xiaoping could defeat him, then it would bring about an increase in his mental state. This was why he was so confident in himself. He believed that the great national master Shang Hongdao here would definitely be able to do what he did, possibly even be better than him, which was why he was able to come up with such a standard. Xiaoping didn't feel any pressure right now, so it was obvious that he would definitely be able to do the same. "Want to take a gamble?" Xiaoping received the divine medicine and smiled towards Chen Shang. "This will add a bit of pressure to both of us, don't you feel that we don't have any pressure now? There's no atmosphere at all. It's just like when I was refining pills." But right now, they had been ignored by Chen Shang and Xiaoping. Furthermore, they also felt a large amount of pressure at this moment, whereas Chen Shang and Xiaoping were chatting happily, even saying that the pressure was not enough. "I don't have anything to bet on." Chen Shang wanted to have a good time and play, he was very confident in himself, but this Xiaoping was a prodigal son, he could casually take out frightening things to gamble on. "How about a bet on divine deity? If you lose, then take out one of your divine deity and gift it to her." Xiaoping's shocking words immediately sent the entire audience into a frenzy of discussion. Taking out his own divine deity would not only require him to endure immense pain, it would also cause his cultivation to regress. It was said that after he took out the divine deity, it would be difficult to cultivate it back. But Shang Hongdao, the master, didn't have much of a reaction, as if he was encouraging this kind of behavior. "If it's like this, you're at a disadvantage. You're a third-rank divine king, and each divine deity is at least equal to several of mine. Are you willing to play like this?" Chen Zhang's heart was also beating extremely fast. This was the first time he was betting on divine deity, but he wasn't afraid. Just as Xiao Baifeng wanted to stop Chen Shang, he was stopped by imperial concubine Lian, who shook his head at her. "Don't worry about him. Even if he loses, great national master will guarantee his safe passage out of here." Huang Jintian laughed. "This kind of gambling is awesome, if there's a chance, I will try it too." Huang Yantian laughed sinisterly. "How about we take a gamble now? Let's see if that little ghost can win. I will definitely support my disciple. Don't tell me you want to support Prince Ping. That's for sure." Huang Jintian curled his lips. Huang Yantian did not reply, because he also supported Chen Shang. Xiao Baifeng was speechless. In her eyes, Chen Shang and the other master and disciple were all madmen who dared to joke around with a divine deity that she had painstakingly condensed out. It would be extremely difficult for her to even form a single divine deity. "I don't have a problem with that." Xiaoping faintly smiled. "Are you willing to bet?" "Good. However, I can't give it to you right after I lose, at least until the end." Chen Shang nodded his head. They didn't look like they were gambling on divine deity at all, but they looked like they were gambling on stone instead. Chen Shang felt that this Xiaoping was very courageous. Before this, Xiaoping had already seen his 5 elements Dan with spirit light and knew that his heavenly alchemy was very strong. UAA sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. This Xiaoping might have used something like the time formation to increase his own strength by a lot of time, so don't underestimate him. Chapter 2167. Chen Shang never thought that Xiaoping would use the time formation to buy more time. It wasn't strange for Xiaoping to have this thing. Chen Shang had already used it before. With his status, it would be too easy to obtain it. If that was the case, then Xiaoping must have improved by a lot. Since he had already agreed to the gamble, Chen Shang could not go back on his word now. Therefore, he could not lose, or else he would have to give up the divine deity that he painstakingly condensed. "All of you should have received your divine medicines. Then, let's prepare to begin." Shang Hongdao swept his eyes across the participants. The pill furnace that Chen Shang had taken out right now was the one that Shui Shenxian and the others had given him. It was not exactly a good pill furnace, but it was currently his only best one. Previously, Shui Shenxian and Lu Meng'er had said that they would help him refine a better one, and even asked for the ingredients from him. Chen Shang had refined a batch of Tianwo Dan before, and although it had exploded in the end, it could be said to be successful. Now, he was even more confident that he would be able to concoct a batch of Tianwo Dan like last time. After Shang Hongdao announced the start of the competition, all the pill gods took the time to refine the Tianwo Dan based on the pill formulas. Chen Shang looked at Xiaoping. Xiaoping was still refining the pill according to the recipe, and it could be seen from the step in which he placed the divine medicine in, but he would not underestimate Xiaoping because of this. Only the steps of his refinement were different from those of the other alchemy gods. He threw the divine medicine directly into the furnace and started the incinerating process. Regarding this, many pill god knew that many people had seen it the last time Chen Shang and Xiaoping competed in the preliminaries. This method of refinement was obviously not a common method. In other words, one did not need to follow the instructions in the pill formula, as long as the divine medicine was correct, everything would be fine. The time limit was also very short. Before, Chen Shang had used a lot of time to refine this Tianwo Dan, but he felt that success now wasn't a problem. He had the experience from before, and the pill furnace this time was much better than last time. Therefore, Chen Shang didn't plan on competing with Xiaoping's speed right now, as long as he maintained a stable pace, produced more pills and had higher quality pills. Of course, he would also need to complete it within the specified time. Not long after it started, Chen Shang saw that the other pill gods had failed. Although the standard to pass this stage was very high, if one failed, they could start from the time they received new medicinal herbs. Everyone was allowed to fail 5 times. As long as it was completed within 5 hours. Chen Shang felt that he had a lot of time, so he was not worried at all. He could not rush it when he was refining pills. If he was relieved, it would lead to a huge mistake. Concentrate your efforts. This time, not only will we compete against Xiaoping, but we'll also surpass my previous match. Last time when Chen Shang refined the Tianwo Dan, the conditions weren't very good. Not only was the pill furnace not good, it was the first time it was being refined, so he felt that there was still a lot of room for improvement. Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye and looked inside his own furnace. Right now, his eyes were only focused on his own furnace, he completely ignored everything outside. The divine medicines in the pill furnace had become even after he used the strong spirit method. When he used the Dao Heart Eye, he could clearly see the strengths and weaknesses of the various divine medicines, so it was very easy for him to control the balance. At this time, Xiaoping was also very serious. A few of the pill furnaces at the scene had already exploded, but he couldn't disturb Chen Shang and Xiaoping. They looked as if they were immersed in their own world, but in their own world, there were only pill furnaces. Everything else didn't seem to exist. This state was also the peak state of the alchemist in The Alchemist. Seeing the two of them being so serious, Shang Hongdao secretly nodded his head. At this moment, he was also very serious about watching the changes happening inside Chen Zhang's furnace. Chen Zhang's pill furnace was not a very good one, but it could prevent others from peeping at it, but it couldn't prevent Shang Hongdao, who was close to the peak of his pill god, from having it. Shang Hongdao could clearly see all the changes happening inside Chen Zhang's pill furnace. I have been refining the divine medicine since the beginning. Although the flames are very strong during the refining process, there is a certain flexibility within the flames. This flexibility will not allow the divine medicine to produce a strong resistance. As Shang Hongdao watched, he analyzed the situation. He knew that Chen Shang was using the heavenly alchemy, so he wanted to learn from it. Strange, even so, we can't let the divine medicine calm down like this. What kind of method did he use? Shang Hongdao continued to pry with rapt attention. He did not know the secrets of the original source refining that Chen Shang had created, so of course he would not be able to understand it. Just when Shang Hongdao was at a loss, he was once again shocked. It was already very strange for those divine medicines to be so calmly refined into medicinal liquids, but after the various divine medicines turned into medicinal liquids, they actually fused together so easily. What is this? How did it turn purple? Shang Hongdao was inside the pill furnace, so he could not immediately see the purple light emitted by the magical medicine when it changed. It was Chen Zhang's second time refining a Tianwo Dan, but he did not expect that there would be a change just like the last time. This allowed him to be certain that the change was definitely not by chance and definitely had something to do with his Chuangzhao fire. However, this time, Chen Shang had experience from last time, so he handled it very well. He did not let the medicinal qi leak out during the process, as he had skipped quite a bit last time. After the Shengpin medicine was refined, it would turn into medicine, and the quality would become much stronger than the Zongpin Dan. And at this moment, after the purplish-red medicine was fused together, it burst out a strong light within the pill furnace, like a purplish-red scorching sun. It actually changed. Shang Hongdao was after all the #1 pill god of the Divine Cauldron Nation, and he also knew about the changes that had occurred, which greatly shocked him. Even though he had refined the mutated divine medicines before, he was still a minority, and did not expect that he would be able to see with his own eyes the changes that the other pill gods underwent while refining the mutated divine medicines. The fusion of the mutated medicinal liquid was very stable for a moment, and did not produce any huge fluctuations. This was only because Chen Shang controlled it with all his might, and only then was it stable, because if huge fluctuations were generated, it would cause the energy of the medicinal liquid to drain away. As long as the medicinal liquid erupted and vibrated, it would consume a lot of energy, and the energy would also pass through the pill furnace. In just an hour, Chen Shang had progressed to this stage, which made Shang Hongdao extremely shocked. He couldn't see through the heavenly alchemy any longer, and although he had heard of it before, the heavenly alchemy Chen Shang displayed now was very different from what he had heard. It was completely not the heavenly alchemy that he recognized. Chen Shang didn't think that he was fast, because from his point of view, refining high-quality Tianmo Dan had only just begun. Chapter 2168. In order to guarantee the stability of the furnace, Chen Shang used the method inside the heavenly alchemy called 8 Heavenly Ocean Refining. After using it, he was able to turn the 6 realms power into a square formation that enveloped the inside of the furnace. After he displayed it, Shang Hongdao frowned, because what he saw was suddenly extremely blurry, and there was only a ball of shadow left. Chen Shang did not know that Shang Hongdao could see the interior of his pill furnace. The reason why he had used the 8 heavenly refining mountain was only to guard the interior of the furnace, because he was going to do something extremely berserk. Just like last time, he split the purplish gold medicinal liquid into 6 clumps. Under his control, these 6 clumps of medicinal liquid gradually distanced themselves from the center, reaching the edge of the pill furnace. It's starting. It's going to be at the most critical moment. Chen Shang sucked in a deep breath fiercely, and then, with a stuffy groan, he controlled the 6 balls of purplish gold medicinal liquid to suddenly attack each other. Boom! A strong vibration erupted from the inside of the pill furnace. The explosion was very strong, but it only caused the pill furnace to slightly tremble. When his furnace was trembling, forget about Shang Hongdao, even if the spectators below the stage were to look carefully, they would all notice him. What's going on? His pill furnace is shaking. Imperial concubine Lian said softly, her charming face was filled with worry. She understood a lot about pill refining, and not long after, the furnace had become unstable, which was not a good thing at all. It's fine. When Chen Shang was refining pills in her house, the commotion caused was much more terrifying than it was now. Her house was almost destroyed, but she still succeeded in refining pills in the end. What many people did not know was that in their eyes, as long as the furnace shook, it meant that alchemist did not have sufficient control over the furnace when he was refining pills, and a huge mistake had occurred within the furnace. It's a certainty that the pressure will be great. After all, they are betting on their own divine deity. It had only been an hour, and he had already made a mistake. Look at how smooth the Prince Ping is. Quote, most of the pill gods on the stage can do it, let alone the Prince Ping. It looks like he's going to lose. I really want to see the look on his face when he forges his divine deity. Hearing the discussions, Imperial concubine Lian became even more worried, because she had never seen Chen Shang concoct pills before. Shang Hongdao frowned. Although he was confused, he could guess what had just happened. It was the effects of the separated medicinal liquid clashing against each other, which was why the pill furnace shook for a moment. If it really was like this, Shang Hongdao would be even more shocked. He understood that Chen Shang was doing this right now, letting a few balls of medicinal liquid travel at the speed of light, during the collision, would raise the quality of the medicinal liquid. This was a method to refine a Lingguang Dan, but it was too early. And it was only the cauldron that had made the impact. If he wanted to improve the quality of the divine pellets to the maximum, he would have to forge them into fine steel through repeated hammering, folding, and forging. This method could be used when refining pills, but the method had changed. What Shang Hongdao was looking forward to more was what kind of divine light god pellet would be like after the mutation. He felt that he would be able to see it very quickly, because Chen Shang had reached this stage so quickly, and he would be able to condense the core very quickly. However, Chen Shang did not condense a pill yet. The inside of his pill furnace was still in a state of chaos, and what he collided with just now was not the crash method used by other alchemists to concoct divine spiritual pills. During the earlier collision, he poured in quite a bit of the fire energy formed from the 6 realms power into his body. Through his many fire divine deity and bones, he created a very strong force that caused the collision to be even more violent. This was originally just an idea, because he felt that the violent collision just now would definitely have scattered the group of flame power. Right now, it was just as he had imagined. The 6 waves of flame power he had poured in were dispersed, and the scattered flame power were absorbed by the mutated medicinal liquid. When forging iron, one would not only need to forge a piece of iron. Along the way, they would also need to add other items and other materials to change the quality of iron, making it even better. Chen Shang was now adding flame powers that were compatible with Tianwo Dan. He poured in a lot of flame power, and when they violently collided, the flame power and the medicinal liquid were both in the same form, and the spiritual medicinal liquid instantly swallowed the flame power to strengthen itself. After absorbing Chen Zhang's flame power, the quality of the medicinal liquid greatly increased. However, there was now a problem. The medicinal liquid within the pill furnace would not automatically fuse with each other like before. Instead, the medicinal liquid within the pill furnace was in the form of droplets of water. The fierce impact from before had caused the medicinal liquid to scatter, and the scattered medicinal liquid had become independent after absorbing Chen Zhang's flame power, unwilling to merge together. Therefore, the interior of the pill furnace was currently in complete chaos. Chen Shang tried to fuse the countless water droplets, but he discovered that it was extremely difficult. The water droplets kept a small distance between each other. As long as he passed the small distance, it would produce an extremely strong repulsive force. With so many water droplets rejecting and resisting each other, it was extremely difficult to fuse them. Being able to fuse them together is already not bad. Looks like I should skip the second collision. Chen Shang was currently in a bit of pain. Previously, he had planned to not rush to condense a pill after a single fusion, and go through a second impact to substantially improve his quality. However, from the looks of it now, if he were to fuse with this scattered medicinal liquid, the quality would also be shockingly high. Chen Shang released the Dao Heart Eye and observed the spirit blood inside all the water droplets. He did not see the spirit blood, but he saw that the color of the water droplets were different. The attributes can be changed, the extremes can be reversed. This liquid was originally a miraculous medicine after the mutation. After going through such a violent collision, changing its attributes was very normal. I never thought that these water droplets would all look fire red, but the energy particles within all have different attributes, and some even have a thunder attribute. Chen Shang realized the problem. What he needed to do now was to use the flames to refine the different type of medicinal liquid drops. As long as he could convert them all into the same fire attribute, fusing with it would be easy. There's still time, we can't be anxious. If something goes wrong, this small drop of water will explode and cause a chain reaction. This pill furnace won't be able to suppress it. Chen Shang was extremely excited at this moment, because this method seemed to have opened a mysterious door that no one had ever opened before. This Tianwo Dan's divine medicine was considered to be of a lower grade among the Shengpin Dan, but Chen Shang had gone through various kinds of mystical methods to refine it, and yet, he had constantly broken through the limits, causing the quality of the Tianwo Dan's divine medicine to continuously improve. In the end, he himself could not imagine how far it could improve. Chapter 2169. 6 hours had passed. Xiao Ping sat there, not understanding. His pill furnace was very calm, and it didn't emit any heat. On the other hand, Chen Shang, who was in front of him, had the highest level of heat emitted from the pill furnace, as if flames could spew out at any time. No one knew what he was doing, not even Shang Hongdao, the pill god. He really wanted to know. At this moment, it was becoming harder and harder for him to find out what Chen Shang was doing. Chen Shang had originally planned to burn little drops of water one by one, changing their attributes, and then turn them into fire-type drops one by one. However, he felt that it was too complicated and it was not too late, so he decided to use his Chuangzhao Fire S to burn them all. He burned for more than 4 hours, and when he used Dao Heart Eye to look, he discovered that the colors were almost the same, only a small amount was not enough. He continued burning for another hour, making all the droplets have the same color, and then he started to carefully search again. Why was it that after going back and forth, he only had half an hour left? At this time, Xiaoping also raised his eyes. He had completed his task. His forehead was only dripping with sweat, and he still looked quite relaxed. Seeing that Chen Shang was still knitting his brows in training, Xiaoping smiled faintly. He then opened his pill furnace and took out 7 pellets that were shining with a golden red light. He had actually refined 7 Tianwo Dan with spiritual light, causing the entire audience to let out thunderous cries of alarm. It was already impressive for ordinary Tianwo Dan to produce 2 or 3, but now that Xiaoping had refined 7 of them and they were even of high quality, it only took him 8.5 hours. This was the great national master's disciple. Although Xiaoping did not represent any of their strengths, there was no need to doubt his potential to become the great national master. These 7 high-ranked Tianwo Dan were the best proof of that. When Xiao Baifeng saw Xiaoping produce the pill, he also frowned. Last time, Chen Shang had only refined 6 pills, but this Xiaoping had only refined 7. Can the little ghost win? This Prince Ping is too terrifying, as expected of the great disciple of the great national master. Imperial concubine Lian also didn't want Chen Shang to lose, but seeing Xiaoping's strength, and the discussions of the crowd below, she also felt that it would be difficult for Chen Shang to win. The alchemists on the stage were all very good as well. In less than 5 hours, almost all of them had produced pills, with the most being 5 pills. However, they couldn't produce spirit energy like Xiaoping, so it seemed that only Xiaoping could make it into the next round. Chen Shang was the slowest. The inside of his pill furnace was still a pile of sand, and he had only just finished modifying the other medicinal liquid drops. What surprised him the most was that after all the medicinal liquid drops had the same properties, they actually started to fuse together on their own. After all, their spirit blood had already been merged by Chen Shang to begin with. Although they had turned into many drops of medicinal liquid, all of them were the same. After the fusion, a ball of medicinal liquid emerged from within Chen Zhang's pill furnace, flickering with purple, gold and red. Although it looks like liquid, it is almost solid. It can be split into 10 parts and 10 pellets will come out. Moreover, condensing a pill will also be very easy. Chen Shang looked at the lump of liquid in detail. If it was before, this liquid was equivalent to a ball of water, but now it was like a lump of mud. If it solidified, it would be crystal, and the quality would definitely be higher. Chen Shang felt that if they collided twice, they would definitely be able to crystallize. He didn't know what kind of divine pellet they would become after the crystallization. The moment he thought of this, he became very excited. It was just that time was not allowed right now. Otherwise, he would definitely have tried it. Chen Shang found his way here. Originally, he could have split the pills into 10 portions, but he decided to split the pills into 5 parts. This was because the quality of the medicinal liquid was currently very high. If he divided it into 5 portions and compressed it to a high degree, he felt that it would be close to the state of crystallization. The quality would definitely be higher than the sum of the 10 portions added together. Chen Shang, who was immersed in the mysterious domain, did not notice in the slightest that everyone was waiting for him. Originally, Xiaoping could have conducted the quality test, but Xiaoping had to wait for Chen Shang. As for the others, they had already gone through the tests, the highest one being only 490, which was still a bit far from the 600 in quality, while there were a few who had reached more than 450 quality, which was considered very good for many alchemists. After all, none of them were Xiaoping. In the past, when Chen Shang refined the pellet to the last pellet condensation stage, the pellets he split were all air masses of qi, and when the Shengpin Dan was refining, it was only liquid, but now it was even higher than liquid. When it was in a solid state liquid state, he separated the gold and red cement into 5 small bundles and then began to compress them. It was extremely difficult to compress it. He had no choice but to use his strongest strength, otherwise he wouldn't be able to compress it within the time limit. Just when he was using all of his strength to condense the pill, his pill furnace started shaking violently and started making dang 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 sounds. Chen Shang was shocked. He never thought that when compressing the mud ball, there would be such a large movement. It quickly became hard like a metal ball, uncontrollably smashing into the pill furnace, colliding against each other and even touching the pill furnace. What made him at ease was that the impact did not result in any loss of medicinal strength. From this, it could be seen how strong the pills were. He himself also greatly admired himself for being able to refine some divine medicines to such an extent. Why do I feel like there are so many pearls clashing inside his pill furnace? Someone shouted, "Don't tell me this guy is playing with pearls in the pill furnace." It was as if there were a few beads inside the box, and then, he shook the box with all his might. Xiaoping looked at Chen Zhang's furnace in surprise. He didn't know what Chen Shang was doing, but there was actually such a sound. There was still a little bit of time until the 5th hour, so Chen Zhang's shaking pill furnace finally quieted down. Chen Shang, who was sweating profusely, opened his eyes and sighed, "It's finally completed." "What are you doing? I always felt that there was a stone in your pill furnace." Xiaoping smiled. "No matter what, you're finally in time. Let me see the divine pill you've refined." Chen Shang laughed dryly. "Something has happened, I don't know if it's a success or not." His words caused an uproar among the crowd. They didn't know if he succeeded or not, but wasn't it clear to them that he succeeded when concocting pills? Chen Shang opened the furnace, but the furnace did not release any spirit light. When Xiaoping opened the lid of the pill furnace a moment ago, the spiritual light that shot into the sky was also very shocking. There was no divine pill floating out of the furnace, it was Chen Shang who poured it out. The divine pills that fell out of the pill furnace left everyone dumbstruck. It turned out to be 5 small stones. These stones were only the size of a thumb, and their shapes were very irregular. In short, they were not circular. The small stone was rather special. Its surface was extremely smooth, as if it was a broken crystal. Its entire body was purplish red, and its luster was golden. Xiaoping raised an eyebrow. "What is this?" "The Tianwo Dan." Quote. Chen Shang frowned, and nodded. "I guess so. Although it's not round, it's after all made from those godly medicines, so it should be edible." Everyone present agreed, but they were all impressed by Chen Zhang's ability. Being able to refine the divine medicine into small stones was also a very strange ability. They did not think that this was a divine pill. No matter how they looked at it, it did not look like it was meant to be consumed. Because it was obvious that there was a mistake in his control, it was not a round pill. "Let's start with the testing of quality, I'll go first." Xiaoping also felt this was very strange. This was because he didn't sense any medicinal efficacy or the smell of a divine pill from those small stones. It didn't seem like a divine pill at all. Chapter 2170. Xiaoping had refined 7 divine spirit Tianwo Dan, and normally, high-quality divine pellets would have a value of 90% when testing them with the divine tool that tested the quality of divine pellets. The divine pellets that had a quality higher than that of the divine pellets, therefore he had already reached the standard that Shang Hongdao had specified. There was no doubt that the combined quality of the 7 Tianwo Dan he had refined would reach 600, but he was still very concerned because he still had to compete with Chen Shang. The Tianwo Dan that Chen Shang had refined was completely different from Xiaoping's, regardless of color or shape. If one did not personally see it being poured out from his pill furnace, it would be hard to believe that it was made from several divine medicines. Xiaoping placed the divine pill he had refined onto the concave point of the disc. The crystal on the disc suddenly began to flash, showing a number of 150. Seeing this result, Shang Hongdao was also a little shocked. Looks like he did not know that his disciple had actually become this powerful, he said. "The high-quality Tianwo Dan S sold on the market should be worth around 70 to 80. This number should be about right. Your pills are about the same as the other 2, but the quality cannot be considered the peak. Normally, the peak quality of the Shengpin Dan can reach up to 500, and of course there are those higher, it's just that I have never seen them before." Everyone was shocked. It was already impressive for the pill god to be able to concoct at least 90% of the pills, but 500 for it to reach the peak. It seemed like there was a huge difference in strength between the pill gods. Xiaoping was surprised. "A maximum of 500? Master, can you even do that?" Even if he worked so hard to refine it, it would only have 150% quality. Shang Hongdao smiled and nodded. "I can do that, but it will require me to compress the amount, so if you have the chance, you have to try out the highest quality pills." Xiaoping tested the quality of the Tianwo Dan S one by one. Chen Shang couldn't help but admire his control. 7 spirit soul Tianwo Dan, each one was actually 150, the sum total reached more than 1,000, which was already far above the standard that Shang Hongdao had set down. Those defeated pill gods were all jealous and envious, and most of them revered and used the same divine medicine. Others could actually refine even more superior quality and produce even more divine pills. This was the difference between them. "It's my turn." Chen Shang laughed. Although this isn't round, but I guarantee it will have the effects of a Tianwodan. It's a Tianwodan, I don't want to lose, I gambled with my own divine deity. Xiaoping chuckled. If you hadn't said so, I would have forgotten. We still have a bet to bet on. After betting on a divine deity, they all forgot about it in the blink of an eye. Chen Shang picked up a stone like Tianwodan and placed it into the hole on the plate. The crystal board that was displayed on the plate quickly lit up. 190. Shang Hongdao was slightly shocked as he shouted. Formidable, he actually surpassed me by 40. Xiaoping also exclaimed, it seems that your control is not bad. Even your shape has changed, but your quality is still so high. How exactly did you refine it? The other pill gods were also confused. During the compression, they would need to control the liquid to spin and condense the pill, which would result in a round shape and high quality, but Chen Shang was obviously not like that. Shang Hongdao held the Tianwodan that was tested by Chen Shang and frowned. It should be because there was a problem during the process of condensing the core, which is why it ended up like this. In other words, during the process of condensing the core, this Tianwodan should have become extremely sturdy, and should have reached a state close to the condensing crystal. After doubling his cultivation, it was close to 400 years. Xiaoping's expression was extremely grave. Chen Zhang's level was actually so high, and he had actually gone into closed-door cultivation before. Chen Shang had only refined 5 pills in total, but he was confident that the total quality would surpass Xiaoping's. He started to test the second pill. The quality was 260, which was 70 times more than the previous one. Xiaoping's expression suddenly changed. If according to what Shang Hongdao had said just now, that Chen Shang could succeed, and the quality would double, then it should be 520 now, and that would be more than what Shang Hongdao could refine. Shang Hongdao also thought of this point, so he started to ponder. Since he was able to refine the quality to 500, he naturally knew the difficulty of breaking through the limit, and Chen Shang spent 5 hours to concoct 5 pills. If he could perform better, then when refining the Tianwodan, he would have completely surpassed him. S refining process was also extremely arduous, and almost failed. Furthermore, to him, this furnace was not considered successful, but because it was extremely sturdy halfway through condensing the core, it did not dissipate in the end, only having an irregular shape. The third grain was 240-70, the fourth was 250, and the sum was 1070. Xiaoping's 7 pellets added up to a total of 1050. Chen Shang was 20 years older than him, so the difference between the two was extremely small. I've lost. Can I take one and see? Xiaoping was willing to accept his defeat. He pointed at the few small stones that were held by the Tianwodan in Chen Zhang's hands. Chen Shang laughed. Of course you can, and besides, this divine pellet needs to be given to great national master. Shang Hongdao immediately ate 1 pellet. Although it was very hard, the medicinal power immediately melted after swallowing it, as if it erupted from within his body, and contained a very vast amount of medicinal power within. Xiaoping also felt the same way after he ate it. The two of them were very shocked, because they felt that there was a huge difference in the medicinal efficacy compared to the test results. The medicinal efficacy was far higher than the test results. This was because the pill Xiaoping had eaten was 150 quality pills, but compared to the pills he had refined, the effects were much stronger. He had refined similar quality Tianwodan before, but they were much weaker than the one Chen Shang had. It seems like the divine tool used to test the quality of these divine pills is unable to completely test the quality of the ones you forge. Shang Hongdao sighed. In the future, I need to make some modifications. This was a very big blow to Xiaoping, but he felt very happy. This was because he had met a pill god that was even stronger than him, otherwise he might not have been able to think of a way to break through his limits in the future. Seeing that everyone had a new level of respect for Chen Shang, Imperial concubine Lian also laughed. This brat is truly extraordinary, even great national master values him so much. Uaa said, he is indeed very powerful, he is not even a supreme god yet, but in terms of alchemy he has already reached such a level, especially that kind of Jingshan Dan, it is the highest quality form of performance. Although he did not succeed, he will definitely be able to do it in the future because he has already touched upon this domain, and it is difficult to imagine that he had already figured it out by himself. Jingshan Dan, the imperial concubine Lian shouted lightly, isn't the Jingshan Dan supposed to appear only because of the King Grade's divine pellet? Chapter 2171. That's right, because only the king grades divine medicine can possess a strong condensed energy crystal. However, this little demon must have used some method to allow the Shengpin medicine's energy to continuously increase its evolution and break through its limits, forming a power that can condense crystals. If Yu hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she wouldn't believe that Shengpin Dan could crystallize either. Shang Hongdao was also aware of this fact. Previously, he wasn't sure, but after he ate one pellet, he was sure that the Tianwo Dan had condensed into a crystal. On the other hand, Chen Shang had almost succeeded. Although the divine pills you two have refined are far above the standard, you will still have to continue with the second round. Shang Hongdao then announced the change in the quality of the 5 elements Dan. I am only going to refine one, its quality must reach 300. Chen Shang laughed. Prince Ping, do you want to bet once more? If you win, then forget about the divine deity that you owe me. Xiaoping thought for a moment, then shook his head and laughed. I think it's better not to bet. If I lose, wouldn't I have to give you another set of divine deity? I don't have much confidence in this 5 elements Dan, so it's fine. Chen Shang refined 5 elements Dan as were famous for it. He had previously refined many for Xiao Baifeng to sell, and Xiaoping had even bought them to eat. Chen Shang had previously sold them for mid-grade, but now, he was refining high-grade 5 elements Dan. Xiaoping felt that there was definitely no difference in Chen Zhang's eyes, thus he was not confident that he could win against Chen Shang, and thus gave up. The time limit should be 4 hours. There shouldn't be any problems with the medicinal herbs. Shang Hongdao took out a few medicinal ingredients and distributed them to them, which were the high-grade 5 elements divine fruits. Chen Shang and Xiaoping felt that there were no problems, and Shang Hongdao immediately announced the start of the battle. It was only 1 pellet, and the quality requirement was 300, which was not difficult for him at all. Previously, he used this method frequently, so he could have refined a few pills, but in order to obtain a higher quality pellet, he compressed them into a pellet. The furnace of Tianwodan that Chen Shang had refined just now had consumed a lot of his energy, so he planned to rest when refining this 5 elements Dan, because there would definitely be a more difficult challenge later on. He was, after all, a 3rd-rank divine king, and had dozens of divine deity. The divine power inside the divine sense sea was very vast, so this bit of consumption was simply nothing to him, and because of that, he felt even more strongly that there was a gap between him and Chen Shang. If Chen Shang had his current strength, he would definitely be able to create even more miracles. Chen Shang opened the pill furnace when the 6 hours had just passed. He could have completed it quickly, but he needed time to rest, which was why he purposely slowed it. Because the rule was that he would refine 1 pellet, he and Xiaoping did not refine any more. Right now, the 5 elements Dan looked exactly the same. This time Chen Shang did not refine the little stones like he did before, it was only because he had consumed a lot of energy. If he was energetic, he would definitely use the 5 elements Dan to try again. 360. Xiaoping tested out his superior 5 elements Dan, and then made a, please, gesture, inviting Chen Shang to also take the test. 360 as well. Chen Shang laughed. Looks like this is the limit of a high-rank 5 elements Dan. Xiaoping shook his head. If you had used your previous refining method, you would have definitely been able to surpass it. Maybe. Chen Shang really wanted to try, but if he tried it, he estimated that he would need a day or 2 to recover. You have all passed. Next is the final test. Shang Hongdao took out a table with 3 jade plates on it. Inside are all pill formulas. They are Heaven God Fire Dan S, Bone Level Dan S and 9 Yin and Yang Dan S. Shang Hongdao laughed. You guys should be very familiar with these divine pellets by now. Chen Shang had all of these pill formulas, he felt that Shang Hongdao definitely knew about this. Hearing the 9 Yin and Yang Dan, everyone began to discuss because this kind of divine pill did not exist. Although there were divine medicines, no one had ever succeeded. The princess gave him the 9 Yin and Yang Dan's pill formula. Xiao Baifeng said, but he believed it to be true, and believed it to be true. To this day, he has never succeeded. Xiao Baifeng remembered that back then, he was extremely obsessed with her and he failed many times in a row without success. Furthermore, he made her purchase a few portions of 9 Yin and Yang Dan's medicinal ingredients. If you take it out now, does that mean the 9 Yin and Yang Dan exist? The imperial concubine Lian asked in shock. Xiao Baifeng shook her head, she did not know either. Master, isn't the 9 Yin and Yang Dan unable to be refined? It seemed like he didn't know what Shang Hongdao was doing either, and he had definitely tried to refine the 9 yin and yang dan before as well, but he didn't succeed. When Chen Shang heard the name 9 yin and yang dan, he felt as if he had been possessed by a demon. Thinking back to his experiences of consecutively refining the 9 yin and yang dan and its failures, an inexplicable impulse surged up in his heart and he wanted to try it right now, because the last time he finished refining the 9 yin and yang dan, he had no choice but to stop. He believed that he could succeed, and he believed in the existence of the 9 yin and yang dan. Shang Hongdao looked at Chen Shang, who had sunk into deep thought, and said, I once succeeded in the existence of a 9 yin and yang dan, but I was unable to succeed again. At that time, I obtained the pill formula from somewhere else, and because I was unable to succeed again, I spread the formula. Hearing his words, the crowd of pill gods started cursing. All the pill gods in Divine Cauldron Nation had been scammed by the 9 yin and yang dan, especially the explosion during the refining process, which had destroyed quite a few of their pill furnaces and wasted a lot of their time and energy. Master, then what are the rules for this stage? He also felt it was strange when he saw what Chen Shang was thinking. There are 2 choices for refining a divine pill from the recipe, one is to refine a bone-level dan, and the other is to refine a heaven god fire dan. The refining process requires 6 pills, and the overall quality needs to reach 600, which can be completed in 6 hours. The other choice is to refine a 9 yin and yang dan, and as long as you can refine it, it will be fine. Shang Hongdao said seriously, Ping no matter which choice you make, as long as you can't reach it, you are no longer my disciple. Xiao Ping nodded, I will definitely do that. You will forever be my master. Please choose. Shang Hongdao looked at Chen Shang and Xiao Ping, don't worry, any one of you can choose to be the first one to only refine bone level dan and heaven god fire dan. Chen Shang already had the pill formula, and Shang Hongdao knew this, but he still took out the 9 yin and yang dan s. The purpose was to see if Chen Shang and Xiao Ping had the guts to refine the 9 yin and yang dan. I choose the bone level dan and the heaven god fire dan. Xiao Ping said. He had tried to refine 9 yin and yang dan and even tried to refine hundreds of batches, but none of them succeeded, not even a tiny bit of success. Thus, he decisively chose to refine the one he was most familiar with. What about you? Shang Hongdao looked at Chen Shang. Chapter 2172. I choose the 9 yin and yang dan. Chen Shang made a decision. He picked up the 9 yin and yang dan's jade tablet, and looked at the pill formulas inside. It was just like the one Xiao Baifeng had given him back then. To actually choose a 9 yin and yang dan, everyone thought Chen Shang was crazy, especially the pill god who had failed multiple times above this. They felt that no matter how many times they tried to refine it, they would never succeed. And what was even more incomprehensible to them was that Chen Shang actually chose to leave the bone level dan s aside and chose the 9 yin and yang dan s on the rotten streets instead. This was what made them think that Chen Shang was crazy. Xiao Yulan used a veil to cover himself as he brought Xiao Hong to the side of Xiao Baifeng and imperial concubine Lian. Baifeng, what's wrong with him? Logically speaking, he should have chosen the other 2 pills. He has gone mad. Princess, after you gave me the 9 yin and yang dan's pill formula, he went into seclusion to refine many furnaces, but none of them succeeded. He even said that he was going to succeed soon. Xiao Baifeng shook his head. Xiao Ping was not surprised at all. Even if Chen Shang lost now, there would be no pressure at all. After all, he did not need to defeat Shang Hongdao as his master. I have over 100 sets of 9 yin and yang dan's divine medicine here. You can fail 100 times, but you have to finish it within 2 days. Shang Hongdao gave Chen Shang a storage bag. Inside, it was filled with 9 yin and yang dan's medicinal ingredients, and the quality was even the best. Shang Hongdao took it out now because he hoped that Chen Shang would succeed, because Chen Zhang's method of refinement was different from his. Chen Shang nodded his head, took out his pill furnace and immediately began. There were only 2 types of 9 yin and yang dan's medicine, and they were very common as well. However, their effects were not very good, and when they were not careful when refining they could easily cause a violent explosion. It was because 3 disasters destroy flower and merciful fruit were commonly seen, that people thought that 9 yin and yang dan did not exist. However, when Shang Hongdao said that it did exist a moment ago, many pill gods started to doubt his words. They really wanted Shang Hongdao to take out a 9 yin and yang dan. When Chen Shang refined them, he was able to find the spirit blood of both sides. Furthermore, he did not need to use a strong spirit technique to even out the 2 spirit blood, because the strength of the spirit blood of the two divine medicines were originally of the same level. The difficulty for Chen Shang to not be able to break through was how to fuse the two spirit blood. This seemed to be going against the laws of the original source refining, because in the original source refining, as long as he could find the spirit blood and fuse it, the two divine medicines would fuse together. Bang! From the start, Chen Zhang's pill furnace had exploded, causing everyone to immediately burst out laughing, because according to their guesses, refining 9 yin and yang dan required a furnace explosion. What exactly is the reason behind the failure of these two divine medicines' spirit blood to fuse together? Chen Shang continued to add in the divine medicine. From his new refining, he still had more than 100 opportunities to try. When he released the Tao Heart Eye, he could not see anything, because the divine medicines that he had refined previously, although the spirit blood looked different, but in the end, they were all able to fuse together. Only the 3 disasters destroy flower and the merciful divine fruit could not. Don't tell me this isn't of the same origin. Chen Zhang's original source refining was based on the fact that all divine medicines were produced from the same source of power. No matter what kind of divine medicine it was, the spirit blood was a cicada for all sorts of divine medicines. As long as one could find and fuse it, they could successfully fuse the divine medicines together. Now that he had tried so many times, the 3 disasters destroy flower and the merciful fruit could not even fuse together. Furthermore, when they fused together, they would produce a very strong repulsive force which would create a violent explosion. Yue had said before that there were people in Star Law Divine Realm who would refine 2 kinds of pellets. After they made contact with the 2 divine pellets, they would produce a strong explosion that would form an attack. Bang! Another explosion occurred inside Chen Zhang's pill furnace, and it was even stronger this time, showing that it could fuse a little. Not even the infinite refining. Chen Shang sighed in his heart, could it be that I have to find a method from the heavenly alchemy? I wonder if that would be enough time. Since the world is so vast, and there are all kinds of miraculous medicinal herbs, it is unavoidable that I would have to face such problems in the future. If I can solve them now, that would be for the best. After Chen Shang failed for the 2nd time, he did not continue, and even sat there with his eyes closed. He was recalling the various mental cultivation methods and chants of the heavenly alchemy, which contained various methods to form and dissolve energy, describing in detail the essence of all kinds of natural powers. As long as he could understand it clearly, he would be able to comprehend a method to solve the problem at hand. Right now, he needed to find a way to fuse the 2 different types of energy from the heavenly alchemy. Yin and yang, fire and water, etc. all belong to 2 different forms, but they can often be fused in various ways. The powers of the various elements in the world are also like this. There are some that can only be compatible with each other, like life and death. Life and death can cause death, and after death, reincarnation and rebirth. They are a kind of entangled form, while the males and females are also relative, but when fusing with each other, they can produce new life and death. Chen Shang saw the explanation of the form of the power and understood a little. He felt that he could not blindly let the 3 disasters destroy flower and the merciful divine fruit fuse together in the usual way, but instead let them intertwine together in the proper way. It was just like the samsara of life and death, or how a male and female combined and gave birth to a living being. These 2 divine medicines are not fire and water. They might be male or female, or perhaps life and death. Yin and yang can both represent life and death. Chen Shang already had an idea. He planned to find a breakthrough point from the 9 yin and yang dan. What is 9 defiances? There are 9 reversals. This should be a reversals of life and death. Could it be that there is a 9 out of 10 chance of survival? Chen Shang thought for a moment, how do I achieve a narrow escape from these 2 divine medicines, and fuse them together in a unique way? The 3 disasters destroy flower is dead, and disaster and destruction represent death. The merciful fruit is alive, so mercy should be shown to the dead, so I hope that I can live, 3 disasters, and represent 3 deaths. Then, how can I accomplish 9 deaths? I need 3 disasters destroy flower, but that's not right. Chen Shang thought for a while. There is no mistake with the pill formula, it has been passed to the State Grand Master in accordance with the formula. He sat like this for half a day, while Xiaoping had already finished, and all of them met Shang Hongdao's requirements. Right now, he was also somewhat looking forward to Chen Zhang's success. He wanted to personally see how the 9 yin and yang dan looked like. Chapter 2173. The time limit was 2 days, but the crowd felt that Chen Shang would not succeed. Seeing him sitting there without moving, they knew that he was thinking, and was definitely unable to continue. What no one knew was that Chen Shang had already made a great breakthrough, found the direction, and was just a little bit away from refining it. How can we let 3 disasters destroy flower experience 9 deaths? If it can be reborn after death, then it can be carried out 3 times. But the question is, how can it be carried out? Chen Shang continued to ponder, but just as he was pondering, a familiar scene appeared in his mind: the 2 Zhou brothers. The brothers of the Zhou family knew how to control time, allowing the destroyed to return to its former glory. The power of time could also be used on godly medicines. In the past, there had been people who had used the time laws to mature godly medicines. Of course, this could also cause them to regress. Does that mean I have to control the mysteries of time? Chen Zhang's head started to hurt. This was the best method he could think of right now. No matter what, let's try the pink ash 3 disasters destroy flower and see. Chen Shang, who had been deep in thought for a long time, finally began to refine pills. He placed the 3 disasters destroy flower into the furnace alone and started to burn it. I would like to see what 3 disasters are. During the process of the 3 disasters destroy flower being burned to death, it should experience 3 disasters on its own. This is equivalent to 3 deaths, and right now, it is required to experience 9 of them. Chen Shang set the flowers on fire. In just a few moments, the 3 disasters destroy flower was trembling violently. Chen Shang immediately focused on observing, and realized that the flower inside the pill furnace seemed to be wailing in pain, and its entire body was trembling, causing the fire inside the furnace to become even more berserk. It's a fire. Chen Shang used the Dao Hard Eye to take a look, and was able to discern that those flames were not his own, but rather that the flames the 3 disasters destroy flower had released. After continuing for a while, the 3 disasters destroy flower calmed down. Its color and shape had changed greatly. He was reborn after he died, and he became even stronger. At this time, he was using the bones of his left arm, causing the flames to become stronger. He was surprised to discover that after this 3 disasters destroy flower was reborn, it had become even more resistant to flames. He used the Dao Hard Eye to look at it and was shocked in his heart. It has changed. This is a water attribute. This flower contains a strong power of water. Could the second calamity be a flood? Sure enough, just as he was guessing, when the 3 disasters destroy flower was being burned by the intense flames, it actually shook violently and released a very strong water attribute divine power. After coming in contact with Chen Zhang's flame, it released steam. Chen Shang had no choice but to open the lid of the pill furnace, allowing the steam to come out. Everyone was surprised to see this scene, because after Chen Shang opened the lid, the blue mist came out continuously. In a few blinks of an eye, the entire plaza was filled with this blue mist. Crash! Asterisk. It rained heavily. Seeing that, Shang Hongdao frowned, and immediately dispersed the blue mist, and the rain stopped. At this moment, he had a strange look of anticipation in his heart, because when he was refining the 9 yin and yang dan, a situation like this had also occurred. Chen Shang was currently having the 3 disasters destroy flower release the power of 3 disasters. After the 3 disasters destroy flower in the furnace released the power of the flood, it immediately changed into a white color and was surrounded by electricity. Lightning disaster. Chen Shang was surprised again. Didn't lightning strike first and then rain? Why is it that there's lightning after rain? Quote. Under the burning of his flames, the 3 disasters destroy flower had already experienced rebirth twice. If it was burned down again this time, it would probably not be reborn, unless there was a way to rebirth the 3 disasters destroy flower. Now, Chen Shang really wanted to know how Shang Hongdao succeeded in the beginning. Very quickly, the 3 disasters destroy flower released the power of the 3rd calamity. The interior of the pill furnace was filled with flashing lightning and rumbling thunder, which was extremely terrifying. After releasing the 3rd calamity, the 3 disasters destroy flower also disappeared from the pill furnace. It looks like I can only use the alive slain method to revive the 3 disasters destroy flower the instant it was exterminated. Chen Shang closed his eyes and secretly recalled the methods inside the alive slain method. The combination of the heavenly alchemy and the alive slain method should be useful. Chen Shang also knew that if he were to use this method, it would consume a lot of his 6 realms power. Once again refining the 3 disasters destroy flower by himself, with his previous experience, he quickly burned the 3 disasters destroy flower to the very end. The moment when the 3 disasters destroy flower was done releasing the lightning, he released the life force that he had been brewing with the alive slain method for a long time, and combined it with the heavenly alchemy. He refined the 3 disasters destroy flower into a pile of ashes. Boom! The pill furnace actually shook violently, releasing a heaven-shaking sound. However, the pill furnace was fine. This was only the power released by the rebirth of the 3 disasters destroy flower after 3 disasters. Do you want to start over again? Chen Shang once again used a strong flame to burn this reborn 3 disasters destroy flower. This time the color of the 3 disasters destroy flower was different from before, and it had become even more powerful, and was currently producing a very strong flame power. The power of these 3 disasters is different from the last 3 times. It's a great increase. Although Chen Shang was struggling, he was still very happy in his heart. This was because this was just as he had predicted before, that the 3 disasters destroy flower would have to undergo 3 rebirths before experiencing 9 disasters in order to show its true power. Now that he had started to condense the source energy, he still needed to make it come back to life when he was done with it. Very quickly, the second round of 3 disasters was about to end. Chen Shang concentrated, because this was the most crucial moment. As long as he allowed this 3 disasters destroy flower to be reborn a second time, he would be able to complete the 9 disasters. The instant it was exterminated, he used his life force to rush over, and then used the heavenly alchemy to quickly refine it. After reincarnating, the 3 disasters destroy flower became very big and began to emit a deathly aura. This surprised Chen Shang greatly, because this was the true appearance of the 3 disasters destroy flower. Under his burning flames, this round of 3 calamities quickly ended, and what Chen Shang was looking forward to the most next. Chen Shang was stunned. This was not what he had expected, but when he was feeling disheartened, he suddenly saw that there was something black within the flames. What is this? Chen Shang quickly retracted the flame. The inside of the pill furnace was scattered with a black mist. Chapter 2174. Chen Shang was initially disappointed, but now he was happy, because this was something that came out of a 3 disasters destroy flower that went through 9 disasters. At this time, everyone was also confused, because Chen Shang had already refined this 3 disasters destroy flower for a period of time, but it still hadn't exploded. The pill god who had refined 3 disasters destroy flower before knew that it was enough for the 3 disasters destroy flower to explode several times at this time, but Chen Shang didn't. Was he going to succeed? Pill god, who didn't believe it before, was now starting to believe it as well. He was looking forward to it. Master, were you like this before? Xiaoping frowned and asked. He was burning fiercely, but the 3 disasters destroy flower did not explode. Shang Hongdao nodded and did not say a word. Chen Shang quickly placed the merciful god fruit inside, and after he placed the merciful god fruit inside, he immediately began to burn it. Although the 3 disasters destroy flower had turned into a ball of black gas, he could still see the spirit blood within the ball of black gas. When he had refined the merciful god fruit to a certain amount of time, he saw the spirit blood of the merciful god fruit fused together with the black spirit blood and white spirit blood of the merciful god fruit. At this moment, he was extremely nervous. He was worried that it would explode. His heart had almost stopped beating. What surprised him was that he did not use much strength, but the 2 spirit blood actually fused together. When they fused together, they instantly turned into 2 balls of black and white medicinal liquid, revolving inside the pill furnace like the black and white yin-yang array. Right now, Chen Shang didn't even do anything as the 2 types of power actually rotated on their own, and compressed on their own, at an extremely fast speed. Chen Shang had only just reacted to it when he turned into a black and white compatible pill, looking like a small pearl formed from array of yin and yang. He succeeded. Chen Shang could not believe that it would actually progress so smoothly later on. Especially the stage of fusion later on, it was like it was formed naturally. Boom! Dark clouds suddenly covered the sky as bolts of lightning struck down. He succeeded. Shang Hongdao suddenly shouted with a face full of excitement. This is the 9 yin and yang dance pill tribulation. This pill is too heaven defying, and that's why it has attracted the pill tribulation. Bang! The 9 yin and yang dan inside the furnace suddenly rushed out. Boom! Also at this time, an extremely strong bolt of lightning descended from the sky, striking the 9 yin and yang dan, shining with a blinding white light. Chen Shang flicked his palm and looked at the black and white 9 yin and yang dan which intersected in his palm. This familiar array of yin and yang once appeared in his dantian for a very long time. I succeeded. Chen Shang did not dare believe it. This 9 yin and yang dan was simply too bizarre, especially the latter part of the process of how to condense nature into a pill which gave him a huge impact. The process of fusing the pills was very natural and full of spirituality. He felt that this was the power of nature, when refining other pills, although he could also achieve a perfect fusing process. But it was not as natural and full of Tao styles as when the 9 yin and yang dan fused with itself. Not bad, you've succeeded. Shang Hongdao walked over and carefully looked at the 9 yin and yang dan on his palm, as the process very beautiful. Shang Hongdao knew that Chen Shang understood his words, so he nodded, because he also knew what Shang Hongdao was talking about. I don't know if you manage to succeed by chance, but no matter what, it will be of great help to you in the future. In short, I feel that I won't be able to succeed again in the future, but success once gives me a lifetime of endless use. Shang Hongdao patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. I think I don't have the qualifications to be your master. We both have the same master. What Shang Hongdao said was something Xiaoping could not understand, and others would not be able to understand, but Chen Shang could understand it clearly. The same master, and this master referred to the great Tao. He would never forget the scene with the 9 yin and yang dan. It gave him a lot of inspiration, and it really did make him experience endless uses. Chen Shang nodded. At this time, Xiaoping wanted to take out his divine deity, but he shook his head. My gains are already great, I don't need your divine deity anymore. Chen Shang looked at the 9 yin and yang dan in his hand. He felt that the divine pellet could allow him to condense one divine deity. I owe you this. Xiaoping laughed. He already knew the difference between Chen Shang and himself, and he planned to focus all of his energy on refining 9 yin and yang dan in the future. The pill refining competition had ended, and Chen Zhang's pill refining skills made the other big heads jealous, but they did not dare make a move against Chen Shang. They could all see how Shang Hongdao treated Chen Shang, and actually saw Chen Shang as someone from the same generation. The storage bag that Shang Hongdao gave to Chen Shang had quite a few ingredients inside, but Shang Hongdao did not want them back. He had quite a few. Take it, it should be useful to you. I don't plan on refining these anyway. Xiaoping gave Chen Shang a storage bag. Chen Shang looked inside. There were actually 100 sets of Shengpin Bone Level Dan's divine medicines and 100 sets of Heaven God Fire Dan's divine medicines. Take care. Xiaoping knew that Chen Shang was about to return to the 9 heaven world, but this place would soon become filled with danger. Chen Shang walked off the stage and returned with Xiao Baifeng and Imperial concubine Lian. Huang Jintian and the others also returned to prepare to leave. Inside Xiao Baifeng's house, Xiao Yulan was already waiting for them there. Princess. Xiao Baifeng's eyes became moist when she saw Xiao Yulan, because she wanted to leave with Chen Shang but she couldn't bear to part with him. She also knew Xiao Yulan's predicament. Silly girl, don't cry. We will be fine in the future. Xiao Yulan smiled gently, but a look of melancholy flashed past her eyes as she hugged Xiao Baifeng. Xiao Baifeng then looked at Xiao Honk, who was beside her. Honk, take good care of the princess, I will definitely come back in the future to help you. Because it was Xiao Yulan who ordered her to leave, she had no choice but to leave. I understand, elder sister Baifeng. When you return, you will definitely be stronger than me. Xiao Honk giggled at her, then looked towards Chen Shang who was beside her. Xiao Yulan and Xiao Honk had seen Chen Zhang's performance when he was refining pills, so they were very confident that Xiao Baifeng would follow him. At the very least, they would not have to worry about him refining pills in the future. Baifeng, take good care of Jin'er for me. Although her face was filled with a charming and lovely smile, Chen Shang could tell that she was also very reluctant to part with it. Xiao Baifeng nodded. Don't worry about Imperial concubine Lian. When we get to that place, there will be a lot of people looking after her. It's not like I haven't seen a silly girl like her before. Chen Shang laughed and said, if I can't continue staying here, I'll just go to the 9 heaven world and find me. Since you are all beauties, I'll be happy to take you all in. Damn brat, let's go. Imperial concubine Lian giggled and stuck out his tongue. Bring us to you, bring us to trouble you, don't blame us for it, you said that you would take us in. Huang Jintian took out an array disc, smiled, and said, this brat has caused more trouble than you, he's not afraid of the little trouble you guys have brought. Huang Yantian activated the formation plate. We are leaving, do you have anything else to say? Chen Shang had already pulled Xiao Baifeng and stood on the array disc. Take care, if it doesn't work, we'll go find you. Xiao Yulan waved goodbye to Chen Shang and the others. Let's go. Huang Jintian and Huang Yantian activated the array disc at the same time, and then disappeared in front of Xiao Yulan and the others. Chapter 2175. You're finally back, this place is still so friendly. Huang Jintian stood on top of the array disc and controlled it to fly forward. Yang Tianyi sucked in a deep breath. The divine spirit energy here is close to the super god realm, it's a very good place. It's a familiar smell, I've stayed in this place for many years. At that time, I still didn't know anything about my clan. Huang Jintian thought back to the past and sighed. Uaa yawned in Xiao Baifeng's embrace. We didn't go to Divine Cauldron Nation for very long. How much time has passed here? A few dozen years. Huang Yantian counted with his fingers. Master, you should go and find Ji Dongshan and the others. They need some pointers right now. Chen Shang laughed. I want to bring those girls back. Alright, but don't forget to give us some good divine pellets. If you can still refine that 9 yin and yang dan, remember to send a few of them over for a taste. Huang Jintian laughed. Of course, but you have to prepare the Shen Yuan stone, and prepare your own brothers to settle the score. Chen Shang laughed as he took out an array disc, and teleported from the array disc to Hundreds of Flowers village with Xiao Baifeng. The Hundreds of Flowers village suddenly had spatial fluctuations, causing LV Kilian and Long Huishan to immediately rush over to check it out, as this fluctuation could only be created by Chen Zhang's array disc. Xiao Baifeng had long known that Chen Shang was very amorous and that he had many women by his side, but she had thought that Chen Shang was the same as the Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord, that he wanted any woman. And now, LV Kilian and Long Huishan, who were standing in front of Xiao Baifeng, gave her a strange feeling of pressure. She felt that although the two women before her weren't as strong as her, they gave her this kind of pressure, and she had felt this kind of pressure before, something that only the Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord had. She suddenly felt that these two women were just Chen Zhang's friends, and not his women. Lu Meng'er and the others immediately came out from the ring. Seeing this, Xiao Baifeng immediately understood that other than Xiao Zhener, there were other girls in Chen Zhang's storage ring. We're all back. That's good. Long Huishan caressed Dongfang Jing's pure face, then looked towards the bashful Xiao Zhener. Who is this little beauty? Long Huishan looked at Xiao Baifeng again, and then laughed. Chen Shang, I asked you to go and save them. Now, not only are you bringing Meng'er and the others back, you also brought 2 more women with you. Hey, they are only friends with me. And he's here to seek refuge. Let's go back to the house first. Chen Shang curled his lips. On the way, Shui Shenxian chattered about the reason why they were captured by Xiao Yulan, and then, he talked about the existence of the Hundreds of Flowers village. Xiao Baifeng finally understood the reason why Chen Shang had entered the Jade Cauldron Palace. It seemed like it was to save Shui Shenxian and the others, and both he and Xiao Hong knew about this. He also knew that the beautiful woman who told her about the past was Chen Zhang's official wife. After knowing the existence of the Hundreds of Flowers village, Xiao Baifeng gradually calmed down. This was a force formed of women, and the power behind it was LV Kilian. She now understood why Chen Shang was not afraid of him, because he had long gotten used to this kind of woman with the aura of an emperor. When he arrived at LV Kilian's house, Chen Shang had just sat down when Feng Yuji came over. When he saw Feng Yuji, Xiao Baifeng felt a little pressured, since Feng Yuji was after all, the 9 heavens goddess, and this 9 heaven world was closely related to Feng Yuji. Soon after, LV Qinlian and Zhu Hanru arrived one after another. They could be said to be the stronger girls here, equivalent to a group of great leaders and elders. The meeting is so boring. Let's go back. When Shui Shenxian saw LV Qinlian and the others, he knew that they were about to hold a meeting. Lu Meng'er laughed. Kilian, then I'll go back first. Baifeng, you should stay here. They have something to discuss with you. Quote. Xiao Baifeng nodded his head. They were women after all, and they were easy to talk about. Zhener, let's go. Dongfang Jing pulled Xiao Zhener's small hand and followed Lu Meng'er and the others. They did not call Chen Shang, and Yue was also carried away by Dongfang Jing. Our sister Mei Yao and the rest free right now. I'll talk to them about refining pills. What he said was the truth, but LV Kilian and the others thought that Chen Shang was planning something bad. Just as he finished speaking, Yan Zilan's voice came from outside the door. She smiled gently. It's been 80 years and they're already free. Quickly go and find them. Do you want me to lead the way? No need. Just as Chen Zhang's voice fell, he ran off into the distance. Chen Shang had long asked Su Meiyao where their pill refining team was located, and this Hundreds of Flowers village was not that big either. He quickly found out that it was a villa beside a stone mountain, where a small river flowed past the villa, allowing Chen Shang to enter through the water route. The moment he entered, he saw a lady in a purple dress soaking her feet by the side of the river. She was holding a book in her hands and was engrossed in reading. The lady in purple was Su Meiyao. She was seriously reading the book, but her jade-like face was extremely charming. This was the first time Chen Shang had ever seen someone as charming as her. After so long, when he saw Su Meiyao once again, Chen Shang couldn't help but recall the scenes when he met Su Meiyao at the foot of the mountain back then, as well as his various ambiguous feelings for him. It's Sister Meiyao. I didn't expect to see her as soon as I entered. Chen Shang was secretly happy in his heart, and then quietly went behind Su Meiyao. Ha! Chen Shang suddenly roared, scaring Su Meiyao out of his wits. He almost fell into the river. Damn little scoundrel, you haven't seen me for so long, yet you want to scare me to death upon meeting me. I'll beat you to death. Su Meiyao threw Chen Shang onto the ground and started to smack him. Chen Shang let Su Meiyao beat her for a while, then suddenly hugged her tightly as he flipped his body, pressing her down to the ground. Kiss me, Chen Shang laughed. Bite you to death. Su Meiyao charmingly laughed, her small mouth pouting sexy, causing Chen Shang to be even more unable to hold back, and she kissed him. Just as the two was kissing passionately, a coquettish laughter came out. It was Hua Xiangyu's laugh. Little scoundrel is here, and he's still bullying our sister. Quickly come and hit her. Hua Xiangyu was also a naturally born charming woman, like Su Meiyao. When Chen Shang heard her voice, his bones couldn't help but go numb. Seeing Hua Xiangyu flying over gently and releasing her, Chen Shang stood up and laughed. She anxiously hugged Hua Xiangyu, who had landed, and pinched his waist, causing Hua Xiangyu to cry out charmingly. You little demoness who threw herself into my trap. Despite knowing that I'm a bad guy, you still came. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. Just as she was about to do something to Hua Xiangyu, Su Meiyao, who was pushed down on the ground just now, suddenly kicked him in the abdomen, sending him flying into the river. Chapter 2176. Chen Shang climbed out of the water, released some hot air to dry his clothes, and then laughed. You two demon spirits, you two sure get along well. Did you miss me? Quote. Su Meiyao chuckled. Who would miss a little scoundrel like you? Chen Shang pinched her face and asked, where's Qianchen? She's concocting pills. No, she said she wanted to go out for a walk with Yulin and the others. Hua Xiangyu charmingly laid on Chen Zhang's left shoulder and stuck to Chen Shang. Little scoundrel, we haven't met for so long, shouldn't you do something? Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. You said it yourself. Then, he looked at Su Meiyao. Su Meiyao had come into contact with his gaze that was filled with possession, and even though his face was red, he was not willing to be outdone. You damned brat, watch how I'll take care of you. Chen Shang laughed loudly as he carried Hua Xiangyu on his shoulder. After that, he embraced Su Meiyao and quickly entered a room. Afterwards, Chen Shang laid on the bed happily, while Su Meiyao and Hua Xiangyu, these two beauties, also lied on his two sides, hugging his body. Little scoundrel, what happened in Divine Nations this time? She had long given her all to Chen Shang, and she really wanted to give her everything as well. She wanted to give everything to Chen Shang as soon as possible, so that she could finally get what she wanted. A lot of things have happened. I have also learned how to refine Shangpin Dan and brought back quite a few divine medicines. Next, I will pass on to you the refining experience of Shangpin Dan. Chen Shang hugged two beautiful girls, but his expression was extremely stern. The Divine Nations is in a mess right now. They can't do anything to us, but once they calm down, they might join hands to fight against us, so we have to hurry and become stronger. The sky had already brightened up, and they had been in a frenzy for an entire night. Su Meiyao finished dressing himself, and said with a chuckle, you can start now, we don't want to become your burden. Hua Xiangyu laughed tenderly, I'll call Qianchen back right now. Our pill refining team had been in closed-door cultivation all day, and we only rested during this period of time. After Hua Xiangyu took out the communication jade symbol paper, she slowly put on her clothes. She purposely dressed slowly because Chen Shang was really staring at her. Not even dual cultivating. Hua Xiangyu laughed, if you don't dual cultivate, you can't condense those purple pearls to duplicate. Chen Shang smirked. I actually trained together with you guys, but none of you are very free. Furthermore, that kind of purple pearl reproducing Shangpin medicine is not very effective. You guys should let Big Sis Kilian think of a way to see if there are any breakthroughs in the alive slain method. In short, I haven't cultivated for a long time. Quote. Oh right, who is your pill refining team? Du Yanyao, Jilinger, Hong Sha, Qianqin, the two of us, as well as Sister Feng, are the big sisters. Su Meiyao said. We have used decades of time and have finally cultivated to the state where our hearts and minds are one. This way, when we are refining pills together, we will be able to achieve twice the results with half the effort. Hua Shangyu laughed. Just like Munger and the rest who are working together to refine, we now have a very big pill furnace. The few of us can control it together, and even if it is more difficult to refine a pill, we can handle it. Compared to me, you guys are still far behind. Don't be complacent. Chen Shang laughed. He had improved a lot after coming back from the Divine Cauldron Nation. I don't believe you. You just went to the Divine Cauldron Nation a few days ago, but several decades have passed here. We have improved a lot in these few years, how can we not be able to beat you? Su Meiyao pouted. Don't intentionally brag to trick us, we aren't stupid. Su Meiyao felt that this was also reasonable, because they had spent a lot more time than Chen Shang. After a trip to the Divine Cauldron Nation, they had all entered the Supreme God realm. With regards to his beloved women, Chen Shang didn't need to hide much from them. He giggled and took out a set of bone-level Dan's divine medicine. Do you know what this is? Chen Shang sat on the bed and asked with a smile. Of course I know of the divine flower of bloodbone, the 7 emotions and the heavenly muscle grass. They were all low-rank divine medicines used to refine shopping bone-level Dan. Forget about this shopping bone-level Dan, we had already refined Zongpin bone-level Dan S. Basically, all of us have 1 bones and Sister Kilian and the others have even more. Su Meiyao stuck out his tongue. What, do you think you're very strong just because you refined the bone-level Dan? Chen Shang pinched Su Meiyao's charming jade face, and laughed. How many pills can you guys refine in one furnace? 6 pills. Hua Shangyu gave a bland and charming smile. You seem to also have 6 pellets, right? Our team can already have 6 pills now. Although you have imparted the heavenly alchemy to us, it doesn't mean that we can't surpass you. We will now learn the 7 souls refinement from the heavenly alchemy, which is also the integration of 7 souls into our team. Quote. Just now, Chen Shang had already known that the women's pill refining teams were respectively Feng Yuji, Su Meiyao, Wu Qianqin, Hong Sha and Jilinger. Red Cloud and Jilinger had only started to learn later on. At that time, they had acknowledged Feng Yuji as their mother and learned a lot. Her grandfather was also a very strong alchemist, now in the 9 Heaven School, and his disciple were the 9 Heaven School's pill god. Feng Yuji had obtained one of the 9 Divine Kings' inheritance of pill refining and had mastered many pill formulas, so now that the 7 of them had become one, she became extremely formidable. Oh, if there's a chance, I'll have to see your 7 souls refine it. Chen Shang grinned and said, do you want to see me refine 6 bone-level Dan? Let's just watch and see. I really want to see how much stronger you are compared to us. Hua Shangyu was a little unwilling, because they had worked hard these past few years. The reason the village could improve so much was because of their pill refining. They felt that they would not lose to Chen Shang, although they knew of Chen Zhang's pill refining abilities. Just as Chen Shang was about to start training, Feng Yuji's tender laughter came from outside. The 3 of you have been playing for an entire night, are you still unwilling to come out? When Su Meiyao and Hua Shangyu heard it, they couldn't help but blush slightly and walk out of the bed, opening the door. The door was wide open, and Chen Shang was not wearing any clothes, so he was still holding on to the bone-level Dan's divine medicine. Chen Shang opened the door wide and saw Wu Qianqin, and beside Wu Qianqin was a noble and mature beautiful woman. She was cold and looked extremely handsome, as if she was the kind of woman who had a strong and explosive personality. Yanyao. Chen Shang could not help but shout out, long time no see. When Du Yanyao saw this, he could not help but burst out laughing, because Chen Shang had not put on his clothes yet. After becoming sworn sisters with Yan Zilan, she had become more and more cheerful. However, when she wasn't laughing, she was still quite domineering. Chapter 2177. Hee, you guys are too obsessed with alchemy. You actually talked about alchemy when you were doing that kind of thing. A girl in a yellow dress walked in. Seeing her beautiful face, Chen Shang immediately recognized her as Jilinger. Another demoness. When he had known Jilinger all those years ago, Jilinger had once seduced him with a very dubious method. At this time, Chen Shang used a quilt to cover an important part of himself. Then, a lady in red walked in and smiled charmingly. Chen Shang, don't you remember what happened when we were in the bathroom? Red clouds, Ling you are Sister Feng's goddaughter now. Restrain yourself a bit, Chen Shang teased. Sister Feng is already mine. Feng Yuji shouted from outside. Hurry up and come out, don't be so obedient, it's just some stuff, what's there to block? I want to take a bath. Chen Shang saw Feng Yuji walking in, and saw the playful smile on her face, and changed her words, fine, wait a while before washing. Chen Shang put on his clothes and walked to the Great Hall. He sat between Du Yanyao and himself and laughed, Qianchen, Yanyao. I just said that Sister Meiyao's and Shang Yu's pill refining skills couldn't compare to mine, they were very unconvinced, and said that you guys had developed some extremely powerful Seven Souls refinement method. Quote. Du Yanyao's eyes moved about, and he chuckled, the refinement of the 7 spirits is truly powerful, but you cannot learn this method because it requires 7 people. Speaking of our alchemy techniques, I believe that we are not inferior to you. Quote. Chen Shang took out the bone-level Dan's divine medicine and laughed, let's have a competition right now to see who can refine the bone-level Dan the fastest and best. Chen Shang looked at Feng Yuji. Feng Yuji was the eldest sister, so she must definitely be the best at concocting pills. We have put in so much effort, we will definitely not be weaker than you. Let's just compete. She had also fought with Chen Shang before, but had never won against him. The 7 women were all very serious and immediately took out their pill furnaces. They took out the bone-level Dan's divine medicine. Let me explain first. You can't hate me after losing, you can't hit me. Chen Shang laughed. Are we that petty? On the other hand, if you lose, don't lose your temper. Wu Qianchen smiled gently, if you are truly stronger than us, then we should be happy. Chen Shang pinched her face. Being caressed so intimately by Chen Shang in front of so many people, Wu Qianchen's face suddenly turned red. Du Yanyao said seriously, Chen Shang, many years, I have not seen you concoct pills with my own eyes. When I thought about the first time I saw you concoct pills, I was extremely shocked. I hope that this time, you will be able to broaden my horizons. Chen Shang giggled, Yanyao, the first time you saw me refining a pellet, it should have been when I was poisoned. Of course, Du Yanyao remembered this. She looked at Chen Shang with a red face, but Chen Shang did not continue. Let's begin, Chen Shang coughed dryly and said. When the girls saw that he had not taken out the pill furnace, they thought that he wanted to use the magic method furnace S. They had also used the magic method furnace S before, but they didn't know how to use them as well as Chen Shang. You will lose for sure. Su Meiyao was extremely confident as he inspected the divine medicine. Just as they were about to put the spirit medicine into the furnace, they suddenly felt a terrifying flame power from the side. They immediately looked over, only to see Chen Zhang's eyes shooting out 2 rays of light, which struck the spirit medicine in his hand. The divine medicine was instantly refined, forming a ball of mist. It quickly merged, then divided into 6 parts. Finally, the pill was formed. This happened in a single breath, as if it had all happened in an instant. Haha, you must be scared silly. Chen Shang laughed. The 7 women were indeed scared silly as they stared at the 6 bone-level Dan S in Chen Zhang's palms in a daze. The speed at which they refined pellets was simply unimaginable. It wasn't that they didn't think about it, it was just that they felt it was impossible. Even if they were refining low-level pills, they couldn't do so quickly. This doesn't look like a technique from the heavenly alchemy. Wu Qianchen, who was beside him, saw the most clearly, but there is an original source refining. Chen Shang laughed. Indeed not, it's a method that I created myself. So I can't teach you guys. Quote. You are so formidable, yet you want us to compete with you. You are bullying us. Su Meiyao pouted and kept the pill furnace and divine medicine, little scoundrel, you're getting more and more amazing. That's true, but no matter what, I was taught to me by Sister Meiyao. Chen Shang laughed and then suddenly became serious. He took out the Tianwo Dan's, Heaven God Fire Dan's and 9 Yin and Yang Dan's divine medicine. When Feng Yuji saw it, he immediately said, it's the Tianwo Dan's divine medicine, I don't know about the other one. Amongst them, Tianwo Dan S and their pill formulas are relatively common in the divine nations. Especially 9 Yin and Yang Dan S, they are just a type of pill that doesn't exist. She knew that Chen Shang was different from the others. Taking out the medicinal herb now meant that he could already refine it. Jilinger said, Mother, didn't you say that 9 Yin and Yang Dan did not exist? In the divine nations, many pill gods have been scammed before. Quote. Chen Shang nodded. I believe you all know about the 9 yin and yang dan. Amongst them, I will tell you in detail later, 9 yin and yang dan. Now, let's talk about this first. This is the Heaven God Fire Dan's divine medicine. Quote, Heaven God Fire Dan. Feng Yuji was extremely shocked. This is what that great national master is most proficient in. It is said that this medicinal formula was created by him, and you were actually able to obtain this medicinal formula when you went to Divine Cauldron Nation. It seems like Xiao Baifeng did not tell me about the matter of you refining pills there. She is not too clear that this was given to me by a prince. As long as one cultivates fire attribute divine power, they would be able to eat Heaven God Fire Dan S. I ate 2 of them, and condensed 1 divine deity and 1 divine soul. Chen Shang said, I will tell you about my refining experience later. Let's talk about the 9 yin and yang dan now. Chen Shang took out the 9 yin and yang dan that he had refined, then explained the process of his success in detail, especially the most crucial 3 lives and 9 calamities, and the kind of natural Tao pattern he had during the final process of concocting the pellet. 9 yin and yang dan, Heaven God Fire Dan, Tianwo Dan, I will give you 50 of them. I need to find Big Sister Kilian and think of a way. The alive slain method must have even stronger effects, since my understanding of it isn't as strong as hers, and adding that I need to quickly level up, I don't have much time left. Chen Shang said seriously, and even with the dual cultivation method, I don't think it will work. The Shengpin medicine is so much stronger than the middle and low rank beasts, it won't be easy to replicate. Feng Yuji and the others had a deep understanding of this. Feng Yuji said, I told Kilian to do it a long time ago, I'm waiting for her good news right now. Then I'll pass on my experiences to you all, and then I'll go into seclusion. Chen Shang said. The few women nodded, held hands, and all entered Chen Zhang's divine sense C, asking him to use his divine soul to impart his insights in this area to them. After he was done, Chen Shang asked Feng Yuji to inform LV Kilian and the others that he was going to go into closed-door cultivation for a period of time. Chapter 2178. Chen Shang came to Shui Bingyan's living quarters. She was currently with Xiao Zhen'er, and Yue was also there. Shui Bingyan was also a simple and charming and gentle girl, who looked very similar to Xiao Zhen'er. Elder brother Shen. When Shui Bingyan saw Chen Shang, she immediately flew over and threw herself into Chen Zhang's embrace. After separating from Chen Shang for such a long time, she started to miss him more and more. I'm sorry Bingyan, I haven't had the time to accompany you properly all these years. Chen Shang said with guilt. It's fine, I'm very happy here. Shui Bingyan smiled extremely sweetly and then kissed Chen Zhang's face. No one knew who taught her, but it made Chen Shang very happy. Good morning, elder brother Shen. Xiao Zhen'er was still a little reserved, but he looked much better than before. Zhen'er, it's good as long as you gradually get used to it. Your icy face is the same as yours, but she's currently living a happy life. Chen Shang said. My sisters are all taking care of me. Xiao Zhen'er nodded her head. In the past, mother never allowed me to interact with others in the palace, and I was worried that I would be framed, but here, I don't have to worry, they all treated me like a little sister. Chen Shang carried Yue, and laughed. That's good, I need to train with Yue for a while, I need to quickly become stronger, and only then will I be able to help your mother. I want to become powerful too. Elder brother Shen, can you help me? Xiao Zhen'er suddenly said. Even though the sisters here are all women, they are all very powerful. Especially Sister Bingyan, I can feel her presence. In short, he's better than me. Yue sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. She is a child of the undead heaven spirit, she is most likely an undying battle god. If he wanted her to become a war god, Long Huishan would need to train her. Also, Yulan and Chen Xiang, the 2 wild girls, have to be together with her frequently. This way, it would be able to have a huge impact on her, causing her to become full of wildness. Bingyan, bring Zhen'er to find Big Sister Wei Shan, then, give this jade talisman to her, and inside it is what I told Big Sister Wei Shan. Chen Shang told Long Huishan some things that he wanted her to specially train him. Alright, Shui Bingyan received the jade talisman, and then brought Xiao Zhen'er to find Long Huishan. Chen Shang left Hundreds of Flowers village, and headed straight for 9 Heaven Divine Palace. This time, when Chen Shang came to the 9 Heaven Divine Palace to look for Zhu Kanghai and chat with him, he wasn't at the mountain peak, but in a secret room in the palace. Zhu Kanghai looked much more energetic than before, His entire body was filled with fighting spirit. Although dozens of years have passed here, you shouldn't have spent too much time in the Divine Cauldron Nation, right? Zhu Kanghai laughed. He seemed to be even stronger now, and no one knew what he had been doing for the past few decades. Big brother Kanghai, you're the one who's acting like a great divine lord. Chen Shang laughed. I have returned successfully from Divine Cauldron Nation. Oh, have you seen Xiao Yulan? Zhu Kanghai asked. Did you ask her about the heavenly magic sword's damage? Yes, she knows nothing about this. She doesn't even know how the cauldron broke. Chen Shang said. Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord did not directly tell her, but she sealed some important moves within the cauldron. What's the situation in Divine Cauldron Nation now? Zhu Kanghai nodded his head. Divine Cauldron Supreme Lord did not tell her. It is obvious that she has some concerns, and it should be because of this matter that she needs to repair that cauldron in order to find out. Once you repair that cauldron, you will be able to obtain extremely powerful strength, so there is nothing to be afraid of. Quote. Originally, the Divine Cauldron Nation could have competed for the throne peacefully, but then, a treasure of a divine nation suddenly appeared. Chen Shang sighed. Every divine lord has kept a hand in this. These fellows don't know why, but they do hope that such a struggle will occur within their own divine nations. These divine lord have lived their entire lives to the end, moreover, they no longer have any feelings for anything, so it's normal for them to be heartless towards their descendants. And the reason they all did the same thing is also because they were worried that the other divine nations wouldn't fall into chaos, and would end up annexing the chaotic divine nations. Zhu Kanghai thought for a while, then said, if this time's Divine Cauldron Nation was not chaotic, then after the other 8 divine nations have battled, the Divine Cauldron Nation that did not have any injuries would definitely be able to eliminate the other 8 nations. Chen Shang understood and said, every divine lord is worried, so I decided to do it this way. Only by doing this can I guarantee that divine nations will be in chaos and that they will even participate. This way, they won't have to worry about their divine nations being annexed. Quote. The 9 great divine lord must have thought that we were only a small threat, so they did not place us in their eyes. Zhu Kanghai said. So they are not worried that someone might take advantage of us after 9 gods nation is in chaos. After all, we are too weak now, and as long as there are a few great national masters remaining, we will not be able to touch them. That's true. Even if they lose 80% of their essence, we still won't be able to do anything to them. Chen Shang was also very clear about the strength of the divine nations. Zhu Kanghai then continued, although our strength is far inferior to theirs, this is a rare opportunity for us. We must seize this opportunity. When the 9 heaven world absorbs the super god realm, we need to possess strength that is on par with them, otherwise, the ones that will be killed will be us. Quote. That's right, that's why I have to make the best use of my time in training. Chen Shang nodded, then chatted with Zhu Kanghai for a while longer. After knowing that Zhu Kanghai had come into contact with 9 Heaven School, they secretly helped each other, since Zhu Kanghai was the one who created 9 Heaven World, and 9 Heaven School was also named after him, they were now on the same side. As the local power of the 9 Heaven World, they definitely could not let it go, this was their common goal. Chen Shang left the 9 Heaven Divine Palace and came to the passageway leading to the core of the earth beneath the Yuming Deep Abyss. So many years have passed here, I wonder how that earthly beast is doing. As Chen Shang walked in the passage, he started to worry. Yue laughed, what are you afraid of? It was too late for this fellow to thank you. Back then, you had helped him eliminate all his competitors, allowing him to obtain earthly fruits. Quote. The core of the earth was a holy land for cultivation for Chen Shang. He could use the time formation here to buy him more time. Chen Shang walked to the end of the tunnel, looked down at the earth core, and said, this earth core's growth speed is too astonishing. Yue said, that's right, it is indeed terrifyingly fast. Just what is the reason behind this? At this rate of growth, it will not be long before you become stronger than even the core of Star La Divine Realm's main star. Quote. A roar suddenly came from below, accompanied by a surge of extremely hot chi rushing up. Even though Chen Shang was wrapped up by the space domain Yue released, he could still feel the terrifying heat. This earthly beast has become very scary. What is going on? This rate of growth is very abnormal. Yue shouted, let's go quickly. We can't stay here for long. Chapter 2179. Using teleportation, he tried to leave this dangerous place as soon as possible. However, after he used teleportation, the place he arrived at was not the ground, but a place with flames on all four sides. Crap, this guy can also control space. He changed the trajectory of your teleportation and told you to teleport below. Yue shouted in alarm. Chen Xiang was now standing on top of a very big rock. Looking around, he realized that this rock was like a round stone slab, floating on top of the fire liquid. He was already at the bottom of the earth, and beneath the rock was the extremely hot fire liquid. The center of the earth was very big, and it was surrounded by the red mist spewed out by the fire droplets. Chen Xiang could not see anything in the distance, but he knew that an extremely powerful earthly beast was hidden here. This fellow wouldn't repay kindness with enmity, right? Chen Xiang took out the divine azure dragon blade. He kept watch of the surroundings, and just as his entire body tensed up, the circular stone underneath his feet suddenly moved. What's going on? Chen Xiang immediately jumped to the side. He thought that something was holding onto the stone, as though it was trying to come out from below. Strange, that guy's aura has weakened. He doesn't seem to have any ill intentions towards you. Could it be that he wants to bring you somewhere? Yue said, if he wanted to make a move, he could have done so a long time ago. Chen Xiang also felt that it was strange. He walked to the center of the stone board, and since the stone board was moving even faster, it was flying towards a direction. As expected, it was going to take him somewhere. The nine-heaven world was very big, so the ground beneath was also very vast, like an ocean. The speed of the stone tablets Chen Xiang was standing on became even faster. It was just that he was surrounded by the fiery red mist and could not see the front. More than 2 hours later, Chen Xiang suddenly felt something in front of him. Through the red mist, he could see a shadow in front of him. Following the rapid movement of the stone slab, everything suddenly appeared clearly in front of him. There was something in front, but it was indeed an enormous stone wall. He had unexpectedly come to the edge. What's going on? If this continues, I'll crash into the stone wall. Chen Xiang looked at the top and saw that there was no way out. It was also a stone wall. The only way into the center of the earth was probably through the pit that he had jumped down from, but following the movement of the stone slab, he was already far away from there and could not find his way back. There's a cave ahead. Yue was pleasantly surprised. I wonder where we will go after we pass through that cave. The heart of nine-heaven world is truly wondrous. Quote. Chen Xiang also saw the cave. It was relatively large, but it was blocked by the boiling flame, so he did not see it. The stone slab seemed to have its own intelligence as it moved towards the cave. The stone tablet was not small, but it was just right to enter the cave. This floating stone slab was specially made for this purpose by someone. Chen Xiang sat down. The stone platform was not hot at all, but after entering the cave, it unexpectedly cooled down, not like he was in the center of the earth at all. He could be considered to have experienced many strange things, so he was able to calm down. Up until now, he hadn't encountered any danger. Nine-heaven world is not a star structure, so it's not circular. When I was in Star Law Divine Realm, the Earth's core that I had seen were all the cores of the stars, and they were all relatively small, not much bigger than the nine-heaven worlds. Yue replied, Nine-heaven world is just a huge floating board in the starry sky. It's not made out of stars, but it can operate really well. It's really strange. Chen Xiang looked ahead, and sat steadily, because they were going downhill, their speed was even faster. The Earth's core is already deep enough, but it's still going down. Looking at the tunnel that's so long, it must be very deep. Just as Chen Xiang finished speaking, he saw a bend in front of him. He immediately broke out in a cold sweat and shouted, Yue, can you make this thing slower? You and I tried it just now. We couldn't control it at all. Yue hastily threw herself into Chen Zhang's embrace, and Chen Xiang firmly held onto her. It's about to collide, is it over? Although it curved, when he saw that the stone wall in front of him was approaching quickly, he felt as if he was about to smash it ruthlessly into a wall. Just as Chen Xiang wanted to float up, he was sucked in by the stone slab, leaving him no choice but to stay on the stone tablet. Just as it was about to collide with the stone slab, it made a sharp turn along the liquid of fire. Mother CKER, that's so scary. Chen Xiang heaved a sigh of relief. How exciting. Yue giggled. It's starting again. In front of him was another bend in the road. Chen Xiang swallowed his saliva, because he had the previous experience. He knew that it was not over, but even if he knew, he was still very worried. Here it comes, ah, great. Yue, on the other hand, was extremely happy. She laughed and shouted, there's another one. It's a series of bends. Chen Shang scolded. Are you trying to scare my soul away? Just like this, Chen Shang did not know how many bends he had made. He did not even know when the originally fiery red liquid of fire had turned into clear and ice-cold water. This stone slab is definitely a very powerful divine tool. Chen Shang patted the stone tablet. Otherwise, it won't bind me and won't let me leave. Who cares? Uaa giggled. That's right, I really want to start all over again. Enough. Chen Shang pinched her small belly. I still don't know where the hell we're going. Right now, everything in front of them was perfectly straight, unlike the previous sharp bends and steep slopes. The movement of the stone slabs had also slowed down, and this waterway had become somewhat dark. Only the top of the channel would occasionally be lit up by some fluorescent stones. We've finally reached the exit. Chen Shang calculated in his heart. It had already been 4 hours since he stood on the stone slab, and he suspected that he was still in the center of the earth. After walking out of this soul-stirring tunnel, there was a waterfall in front of him. After passing through the waterfall, Chen Shang arrived at the pool. What's going on? Isn't this the core of the earth? How can you see the sun and the blue sky? Chen Shang acted as if he had seen a ghost. He already went very deep from the Yuming deep abyss to the core of the earth, and then using the stone tablet to go through the tunnel. He went all the way down, and now he actually arrived at the same place as the ground. Look ahead, Yu said. When Chen Shang looked forward, the clouds and mist suddenly dispersed, and a palace appeared. On top of the palace, there was a signboard, with the words, Qilin Hall, written on it. Seeing those 3 words, Chen Shang suddenly understood that the earthly beast was actually a fire unicorn. Wasn't this guy fighting over food with others back then? It has only been a few years since then, and we have been through so much comfort. Not only is there a good environment, there is even a palace. Chen Shang walked onto the shore, and headed towards the fiery red Qilin Hall with a stomach full of suspicions. Chapter 2180. The Qilin Hall was very big, but it was not built very well. Its entire body was a fiery red color and seemed to be out of place when compared to the dark green grass. When Chen Shang arrived at the entrance, the door automatically opened, and he saw a big hall. After he walked in, a young man dressed in red traditional Chinese clothing walked over with a bland smile. Who are you? You brought me here, Chen Shang asked. Not bad, did you have a good time when you came? The man laughed heartily. It was clear that he meant no harm. Are you the earthly beast of this place? Uaa asked, are you a Qilin? The man nodded his head. I am indeed a fire unicorn, but I have a name, my name is Huolin, and only I am here. Don't you find it expensive to live in such a large place? Uaa laughed. Of course I feel it, but I have no choice. Hopefully, this place will become lively in the future. Huolin looked at Chen Shang and saluted him. Benefactor, I still don't know your name. Benefactor. Chen Shang was a little doubtful. My name is Chen Shang, when will we be your benefactors? If you hadn't helped me eliminate my other competitors, I wouldn't be where I am today. When Earth's core divine spirit created us, because of some problems, I was the weakest of the lot. Originally, there was no hope for us to survive to the end, but never would I have expected that it would be because of benefactor's efforts that I survived. Huolin laughed. Uaa had said before that Chen Shang was the great benefactor of the Earth Tree, and this was not wrong. So that's how it is. Chen Shang laughed, and patted Huolin's shoulders. I didn't expect you to become like this so quickly, you're truly powerful. Oh right, since it was an intervention, wouldn't the Earth's core divine spirit blame me? Chen Shang looked around worriedly. Don't worry, Earth's core divine spirit has already left. He will never come back, and he will go to other places without Earth's core divine spirit to create earthly beast, change his core, and create a world. Huolin laughed. So before he left, he created this Earth core realm and can be considered my territory. Furthermore, I will also be responsible for protecting the Earth's core in the future, so as to not let any creatures who had ulterior motives invade the Earth's core to invade. Uaa giggled. Does this mean that Chen Shang has ulterior motives? Huolin laughed. This is my decision. Benefactor merely borrowed a bit of Earth core's power to activate a formation. It will not harm the structure of the Earth core. Not bad, little guy. Just call me Big Brother. Don't call me Benefactor. Chen Shang laughed and shamelessly allowed the fire unicorn to call him Big Brother. Yes, Big Brother. Huolin seemed to be very simple, and furthermore, he truly wanted to repay the gratitude. Originally, when he was created, he would need to undergo a lot of tempering before becoming an earthly beast, but when an error occurred in the process of creating him, he became the weakest earthly beast. In this kind of training, only those who survived could become the master of this core. Originally, Huo Lin had had no hope, but who knew that Chen Zhang's sudden appearance would help him eliminate all of his opponents, causing him, who was destined to die, to win in the end and become the guard of the Earth's core. To Huo Lin, this was a life-saving favor. Kid, you have the ability to change the trajectory of space so that I can't leave the Earth's core, but you didn't bring me here immediately. Chen Shang laughed. Are you trying to make fun of me? Big brother, how would I dare? I just want to show you the structure of this Earth's core. Ordinary people do not have this opportunity. Huo Lin brought Chen Shang out of the spacious hall and into the grass outside. After that, he took out a stone table and let Chen Shang sit down. Huo Lin, can you borrow the power of the Earth's core from here? I need to train during this period of time. Chen Shang said. Of course I can. There is a place below my Qilin Hall where I can directly absorb the most powerful power from the Earth's core. That is where I normally train. If you need it, I can just modify it and make 2 of them. Huo Lin said. If Big Brother wants to leave, you can also use the transmission array to leave. I have the transmission array here. So convenient. Oh right. Did you make your own transmission array? What should I do to get in here faster when I need to? Chen Shang never thought that there would actually be a transmission array here. I didn't do it. It was prepared by the geocentric creature when it left. Huo Lin said. If you want to come in, just shout at me at the end of the passage and I will open the transmission array to bring you in. I don't have the spatial power that Big Brother has. The reason I changed your spatial trajectory was because of the formation. Quote. Chen Shang followed Huo Lin into the Qilin Hall. They arrived at an underground place, and there was a pond of fire here. They could sense a very strong flame power. Big brother, you can stay here to cultivate. I can make one myself and control this place as I please. After Huo Lin finished speaking, he closed the door and left, no longer disturbing Chen Zhang's cultivation. In order to make the best use of his time to cultivate, Chen Shang used the time formation. 1 day outside was equivalent to a year inside, which allowed him to earn more time to become stronger. Only in this kind of place could the circulation of the time formation be maintained. Even if one used a dragon's vein, it would cause a lot of damage to the dragon's vein. I only have 7 divine deity now, I'm really too weak. Facing those divine nations, even 70 divine deity would not be enough. Chen Shang sighed. I wonder when I'll be able to reach that realm. It just depends on how well you're refining the pills. Generally speaking, eating Shengpin Dan below 40 divine deity is very effective, and those above 40 divine deity need to eat Taipan Dan. Uaa replied, in other words, the divine medicine in your hands is already enough to satisfy you. Chen Shang took out the 9 yin and yang Dan, and laughed. I have to personally try out how effective this 9 yin and yang Dan is. If it is good, then I will try to refine a 9 yin and yang Dan with spiritual light, and this will allow me to improve by leaps and bounds. Right now, you need to condense a few more spatial divine deity and celestial phenomenon divine deity. This is more of a help to you. If you set the 100 gods level as your goal, you must have at least 25 spatial divine deity and 50 sky elephant divine deity each, and then 50 flame divine deity. Yu said. Chen Shang currently had a lot of fire divine deity, but spatial divine deity could allow him to use even stronger spatial energy, allowing him to teleport even further. Let's begin now. Chen Shang ate the 9 yin and yang Dan and checked if it had the same effects as the one in the legends.